Charles Hanagriff, Hester and Hanny on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and 1130 The Tiger. Alongside Jacob Hester, here's Charles Hanagriff.
All right.
What do you think?
That's it, yeah. I was a surprise. That's
Yeah,
better. That's
little
better.
yo MTV raps.
Little yo.
So we don't have to yo.
All right.
They're yoing for us.
I
It's
got
better
it.
than the horns.
I got it. So we changed out the horns.
Okay.
The horns are.
You said you didn't like them yesterday.
I wasn't wild about the horns. I like this better.
Okay, good.
I like this better.
Just a little surprise.
When they write the history of this show, it'll be the first 2.5 weeks they started with horns and then they retired the horns.
And then went yo MTV rap.
Yeah, right. It feels kind of nostalgic in a way. Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome into Hangin with Hester and Hanny. Charles Hanagriff, Jacob Hester, Cade Wazan, and the guys Paul O'Neill and Playboy Marty pushing the buttons, keeping us going.
Hey, Playboy Marty's got the best nickname in the building.
How did he come up with that?
I don't know if we want to know or if we can say here on air.
I think
Playboy Marty works.
I think Mintz came up with that.
Well,
so we
did a
give,
nice job
give credit
there, Ben.
to Mincy on that one. We start today with the New Orleans Pelicans in their first scrimmage action of the bubble and the restart that's coming up in a week from tomorrow. It was an easy victory, 99-68 over the Brooklyn Nets. What we found out last night on the court wasn't a whole lot. The Nets are depleted. They would probably just as soon have stayed home, given the injuries and the coronavirus absences that they have. This Brooklyn team is pretty much there in name only. I mean, this is these are Brooklyn Nets jerseys, but this is probably, I don't know, I hate to call them a G League team, but with all of the defections, everything, this is a team that in no way representative of what Brooklyn could put on the floor if they were at full power. So the 31-point win, wonderful. Okay, you go out there and do that, but keep in mind that Brooklyn is much, but they didn't go out necessarily. As we talked yesterday about with Ali Cosell from the Bird Rights, this wasn't a scrimmage situation where they were looking to exploit weaknesses, where they were looking to exploit individual matchups. This was get back out there and get 40 minutes under your belt. The starter's not playing extended minutes. Basically just get back into it, and this was a 40-minute, not a 48-minute. So a good first outing, I would say, by all accounts. We weren't expecting, to be, oh my goodness, look. But it was, hey, listen, they won by 31. Terrific. A good start.
I like what I saw from Brandon Ingram. He continued his successful season. Jackson Hayes, when you look at the plus minuses, he was plus 19. Drew Holiday did what he always does. Lonzo Ball had another big game. That's important because that's a guy that we were talking about was playing his best basketball when everything shut down. So it was good to see him continue that. He was plus 14. J.J. Redick, Josh Hart. Really, the entire team looked good last night. And you don't want to take too much into it because when you look at the plus minuses, which I'm a big fan of, there wasn't one minus for the New Orleans Pelicans because the Brooklyn Nets are awful. Every Brooklyn Net was in the minus category there. So you don't want to take a lot from that. But just as far as their game and not what the opponents were doing, I did like what I saw from the guys that were hot when everything shut down. Josh Hart, Lonzo Ball, those two guys are going to be so important to what the Pelicans do if they do, in fact, get into the postseason. E'Twaun Moore played good last night. How much is he really going to play a factor into real games? I don't know. He's kind of that question mark, Hanny. He's that guy that we know is a veteran player. We know he's on a big salary, but does he fit into the plans, especially when Zion comes back? That's a name to pay attention to. Derek Favors didn't play last night. That worries me a little bit just because of his injury history, but no, we don't have any signs that say he's going to miss some significant time from real action.
This wasn't even an injury. This was a designated rest, which
I know, but I don't like that.
Well, it did sound strange that it's the first one.
Yeah, we haven't played
tired?
a minute.
Exactly, but that's what they're calling it. Alvin Gentry on the win.
Yeah, I'm happy with most of the things that happened. I still think we got to get a little better on our closeouts. We also talking about a team that's, totally depleted. Let's tell it like it is, But for us, it was about us more so than it was about Brooklyn. We wanted to see how we would react to certain things, and I thought we did a good job of number one, flying around defensively, and number two, I thought offensively we did a good job of playing unselfishly and finding the guys. I thought we shot the ball from three well in the first half. I think we had 10 threes. Didn't shoot it very good from three in the second half. But all in all, for the first time out, I thought I was really happy with the way things turned out, and we just got to continue to try to get better and go back to practice and work on the things that we need to improve on.
The media availability down at the bubble needs work on its audio. They're in
They're setting up tables for a banquet?
I think they were doing that from Pirates of the Caribbean, the ride. That or It's a Small World.
What'd you think, real quick, what'd you think about the setup? What'd you think about them having the Nets logos all around because it's a Nets home game and the feel of everything?
Okay, when I saw the first game, which was the Clippers earlier in the day, I swear to you, the first thing I thought about was the Nets, because if you ever seen the Barclays Center, it is extremely, when you watch it on television anyway, it's very dark in the crowd. It's almost like you've got a dark backdrop to it in the Barclays Center. I noticed that the first time when LSU went up there, and it's extremely bright lighting on the floor, and then it goes almost like you're stepping into a dark room. I thought that's what Orlando looked like.
Yeah,
I thought it looked like the Barclays Center, a very, very dark backdrop, with what they've got there, and then the lights on the floor. Listen, they're trying. I thought Patrick Beverley, the Clippers, had a funny quote. He said, they came with the defense chant, that usually gets the crowd pumped up. He goes, I don't know who that's for because there's no crowd here. But he goes, hey, whatever. It's about making them feel comfortable. Yeah. And if it moves the needle just a fraction, okay. Nobody hurt. They're doing what they can. They're playing in a hotel, basically.
They are. They're playing in a ballroom. And I actually think it works better than playing in an empty stadium with nothing, no interaction. Right.
You don't want them to act like they're playing on a practice court somewhere, even though they're playing on a practice court somewhere. The biggest story to me out of last night was the news that they expect Zion Williamson to return to the team, and we were starting to wonder. It's been a week now, and we hadn't heard anything. They did not give us any indication that there is a problem with his off-site testing. They didn't give us any indication that whatever the situation is has worsened, and they still feel like he's going to be back. They stopped short of saying he'll be back for the first game, but still that 4-day quarantine period seems like it is still in place. So that means that if he gets back before Tuesday, he's got a chance to play before Monday, he's got a chance to play in the opener. Now, I have no idea where Zion is or what he's doing. I don't know if he's been able to pick up a basketball or run or do anything while he's going. He's obviously got something that is very serious to have pulled him away. So it's entirely possible that Zion Williamson hasn't been able to do anything basketball related in a week. I don't know. I have no idea. I'm speculating. But the idea that he can come back to me was big. At least they didn't come out and say, listen, we're preparing not to have Zion for the whole deal. They didn't say that last night. So that was encouraging.
Yeah, my best guess is he probably comes back this weekend. That way you got a couple of extra days to do the quarantine and to get back into playing shape. And he's in playing shape. But as we all know, anytime you take a week off, and I'm just guessing, he hasn't been doing basketball activities. When you got a family emergency, that's number one, right? Get you 1 or 2 practices to kind of get your wind back just a little bit. And so if he comes back this weekend, I don't think he misses a beat. So it's important to see when he comes back. And then, if you get back in just enough days, 4 days away from the game, and then you're rushing to get into a game, that's probably not the best case scenario there. So if he comes back anytime this weekend, it'll be completely fine.
This thing happens so quickly. If he was going to miss 2 weeks in the regular season, well, okay. Yeah, you miss probably 4 games. Now they've got really almost no room for error here. We've said all along we think they need to go 6-2 to get into the mini playoff, and I'm going to hold on those numbers for now.
And so, real quick, yesterday my no class was blackout restrictions.
Oh gosh!
And so without giving you where exactly we live, Hanny and I live in neighborhoods that are literally right by each other. Like we are side by side.
As the crow flies, we live about 300 yards from each other.
We do.
Yeah.
And I was able to watch the game last night on NBA TV. Hanny was not able to watch the game.
No, I was not.
Last night on NBA TV. So I guess you're just 1 mile too far. We're not even a mile though. I mean, we're like
it blew my mind. I thought we were going to be okay. And then when I found out that you got to watch the game and I had to go watch highlights, I was a little aggravated that, not that you got to watch it, but that I didn't. I went to great lengths to get this done, right? I was waiting on a basketball game that I didn't get to see.
It makes no sense, but it was funny. So Dick Dixon was actually over last night having dinner, and we were at the table having dinner talking, and the game was on, and I was paying attention to it, but he was locked in. He was sitting on the couch watching. I'm like, hey, what are you doing over there? He goes, man, this is the first time a sport that I care about is playing team organized activities against another team. I'm going to sit here and I'm going to enjoy every second of this. He was locked into this exhibition game like it was the national championship.
He's probably not the only one. Yep. And I can only imagine what the TV ratings are going to be tonight for Yankees Nationals. I can only promise you that there'll be significantly more than if the Yankees and Nationals had played on this date in a regular season.
Yeah.
Then it would have just been another Thursday night.
Would you watch it normally Wednesday Night Baseball if it was the Yankees Nationals?
I certainly would make it an appointment to be in front of the TV for first pitch and watch it the whole way. Now we've got an event tonight, but we'll certainly have it on. Yeah. And when our event is over, yes, I'm going to watch Giants Dodgers till I fall asleep. Yeah,
that's what
for exactly what Dixon said.
Yeah,
I haven't been able to watch a sporting event, a team sport that I care about that I didn't already know the outcome of,
right,
in 4.5 months. So yes, I'm going to watch for sure.
I don't blame you. And when you came in, we all know there is some weather that could possibly cancel the Yankees Nationals game, and I think I speak for everyone in this room that says I'll stay up a little bit later tonight to watch the old West Coast baseball game, and I don't even have any money on it. Some guys, right. Ronnie Ranch, stays up a little bit later to watch some West Coast baseball for different reasons. I'm just going to watch it just because it's baseball.
If that game gets rained out tonight, it's just you got to look out, or even a rain delay. You just got to look. Are we being punished for something?
Yes.
I mean, did we offend somebody somewhere?
Forsake you somewhere?
Yes. What did we do? That is the opening night for Major League Baseball tonight. Yankees and Nats at 6 o'clock. Giants and Dodgers at 9 o'clock. On the show today, Barrett Sallee will be with us a little bit later on in this hour. Hunt Palmer will be with us in hour number 2. Austin Bain Train, will make his way in the 2 o'clock hour. We'll talk a little bit about the baseball season with both of those guys, but we got some football stuff to get to as well. We are brought to you by Richards Honda, home of the warm and fuzzy feeling. This is Hester.
There you go.
Hanging with Hester and Hanny, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Hangin' with Hester and Hanny. In times of need, get a full list of phone numbers, websites, and other important emergency information on the Demco Stormwatch page at 1045ESPN.com.
Oh, hey, what's up? It's Big D and Bubba, 100.7 The Tiger Morning Show. We'd love for you to join us every weekday, 4 a.m. till 9 a.m.
Yeah, everything you want in a show. Country music. We got laughs. We got celebrity in-studio guests. We just need you.
Join us every weekday morning, 4 a.m. to 9 a.m., right where it all started.
That's right. Louisiana's country station, 100.7 The Tiger.
Here at the Big Squeezy, we continue to serve the Baton Rouge and Southeast Louisiana areas during these troubling times. We are dedicated to providing you healthy food items to help you live your best life. From our cold-pressed juices to our delicious smoothies, let the Big Squeezy keep you going. Stay active, stay happy, and let us help you stay healthy. Visit us at our locations and also inside of Alexander's and Mathern's grocery stores or online at thebigsqueezy.com.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare. at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Auctioner.
To all of our heroes working on the front lines of this COVID-19 pandemic, your bravery and selflessness represent the very best of us, and we want to say thank you. I'm asking everyone around the state to join me in celebrating the heroism of our healthcare professionals on the 19th of every month at 1900 hours, that's 7 p.m. Write a note of appreciation, make plans to donate to charitable organizations, or say a prayer. To learn more, visit 19thanks.org. Thank you, and God bless.
Crime has serious consequences, but anyone can make a mistake. If you find yourself in trouble with the law, know that you have rights, and it's okay to demand them. The law offices of OSSIE Brown are here to protect you and your rights. Felony or misdemeanor, DUI or drug charge. No matter what crime you're accused of, you still have rights. Let the law offices of OSSIE Brown uphold them. Call 225-343-1111. Your law firm for a lifetime.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office.
Coming up on Friday's Off the Bench, Hunt Palmer movie reviews are out and baseball's in. Plus, Cole Kublik talks SEC football, LSU opens up football school, and we preview Pelican scrimmage part 2. Off the Bench, 7 to 10 a.m., 104.5 ESPN.
Hangin with Hester and Hanny on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and 1130 The Tiger.
And thanks to you if you are watching along with us on CST or on our YouTube channel 104.5 ESPN. Please subscribe. What's in a name? Well, depends on what side of the country you're on, I guess. The Seattle expansion team in the NHL got a new name. Got a name. They are the Seattle Kraken. The first time I saw this, I said, "What's Kraken?"
Yeah, I told you it's kind of like a Loch Ness monster type sea creature.
Flynn's gonna love this.
Oh my God! And if Flynn ever had a hockey team, this is it. There is no doubt this is his favorite professional, not even like NHL, professional sports team. He's going to absolutely love this. It's a little outside the box. I don't hate it. I love the colors. And it's not your typical nickname. It's not your animal that everybody uses. It's not something that's basic. I mean, they thought outside the box. And you know what? The Supersonics was a little bit different as well. So
yeah, the logo I thought was really cool. Once I found out what a Kraken was, I thought the logo was really cool because it's an S with a sort of like a sinister looking eye inside the curve of the S that is the sea monster. It looks like a sea monster's.
Got the tentacle there too.
Yeah. So I would, I think that's pretty cool.
You never seen the movie Wrath of the Titans? That's the I guess the villain at
Clash
the end.
of the Titans.
Yeah, sure, same thing.
Yeah. But that was you had the sea monster.
Wrath, Clash.
Every time I think about that movie, I think about Medusa, the woman with the snakes in her hair, or snakes as hair, and if you looked at her, you turned to stone. So you couldn't, and they had to chop her head off. Yeah, anyway, the logos and the color scheme, pretty cool. It's unique, and that's all you can ask.
Wrath of the Titans was the sequel to.
I'm sorry, Clash of the Titans.
You were right. Wrath is the sequel.
Okay.
So
okay,
we're both. I mean, we're movie buffs here.
Yeah, and Clash of the Titans is an older movie. That's like an early '80s movie. Yeah, it was a young Harry Hamlin. Anyway, getting off the topic here a little bit.
We didn't have our flustering yesterday, so we're trying to get some of that out of
this
it.
Is us flustering without Matt. On the other side of the country, Washington unable to come up with a logo and a team name that they could get copyrighted and trademarked in time, has decided to call themselves, for the moment, the Washington football team. The Washington Generics.
Yeah,
same color scheme. They're replacing the logo on the side of the helmet with numbers, and for the foreseeable future, they're going to be the Washington football team.
Do you think this is Daniel Snyder being like, you want me to change my name? Washington football team. Or do you think they truly want to take some time and get the right nickname?
Ordinarily, listen, I wouldn't put anything past Snyder, but I don't think that's what this is, because the league would significantly push back on that if he was just giving them the middle finger. Okay, I really do think that that would have come out. They ain't got enough problems over there. He wants to, add some more. No, I really think this is a trademark and a copyright thing. That you had the story last week that somebody had gone and bought up all of the proposed names, Red Tails, Red Clouds, and 6 or 7 others.
I want to say he had Washington Football Club. I don't think he had Washington Football Team.
And I can understand them not wanting to be extorted out of a great deal of money from some guy who's basically got squatters' rights on a logo or on a team name.
Or a website name.
Yeah, and the other reason I don't think that this is Snyder just, flipping them off is typically when you change a team name, it takes 1 to 2 years. It takes that long to get all of your trademarks, all of your copyrights, and then you have to go about changing everything that was the old.
Yeah.
And this is a lot more than just your uniforms and your helmets. This is everything in your offices, everything in your practice facility, all of your old merchandise. Everything down to the desk that, the first thing you see when you walk into the Washington football building or any football building. When the Titans moved from Houston, they were the Tennessee Oilers for the first year for just this reason. They had to get all that stuff. So they're trying to do this on the fly. In fact, they are having to hustle just to get Redskins off of everything that it was on before the season starts in September. And you think
it's a bigger job than you think.
It is. Walk around FedEx Field and see how many places they've got that logo or that name. I mean, it's everywhere. It's not something that you can take care of in an afternoon.
We rebranded in San Diego. Remember when they scrapped the Navy helmets and the Navy jerseys and they went to more of the powder blue look? Well, I was in the second year of the powder blues, and when I still got there in April, they were still changing logos within the facility. They were still trying to change the stickers that were on the wall when you first came into it, and they had 16, 17 months to do so, and that was just a logo change. That wasn't even a wholesale get everything down. They were just changing a couple of things within the building. Maybe that's the way the Chargers way, but still, to your point, it's a big overhaul.
Think about if you did it at LSU. What if you wanted to change the colors or change the mascot?
Oof.
How long would it take you to? I mean, they've been the LSU Tigers for 100 years, over 100 years, well over 100 years. The Washington, they were the Redskins since 1932. Right. So scrubbing everything off is going to take a little bit of time. So they're going to be the Washington football team. So what do you were a player? What do you do? Let's go. Go team.
Go team.
Go team. I knew you would have an answer for that.
Go team.
Go team. That's
it's like basic generic font on a T-shirt.
Team pride. Team pride.
I mean, what do you break it down on? I mean, she's like, 1,
team
2,
on 3?
3 Tigers. Oh, team on 3.
Team on 3.
Typically you're being corny when you say team on 3. It's like it's all about team.
This is so stupid it almost works. I mean, it's kind of growing on me.
The fighting teams.
Yeah, Yes, we're Washington team.
That's it.
Think they'll keep it?
It's Daniel Snyder, so Hanny. I have no idea what they'll do, what makes sense, what's logical, all those things.
You can't. I would say you can't sell any merchandise because you don't have a logo to put on a shirt or a hat. But the Browns don't either. All they've got is a color scheme. So you have to put like the helmet on something if you're going to have it. You can't just put this orange block.
It's a great point because now they're going to have some kind of merch. I mean, you're going to have it in your team shop, and if you don't have a logo, which they don't have because on the side of their helmets, like we mentioned, they're going to have just the number, and Washington doesn't really, have 6 players that you can just throw the number on some merchandise. I mean, they got Chase Young, obviously. Haskins, the jury's still out on him, so they don't have, these stars upon stars. What's in the team shop?
It's going to say Washington football team. And don't they haven't we seen these things that they look like their locker room shirts? It says property of, New Orleans Saints Football Club or New Orleans football team or something like that.
Yeah,
these
ones that are
generic,
on the sales rack in the clearance aisle, the back on the little carousel. Yeah,
they're supposed to look like the shirts that the players would wear under their pads
in 1981.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
It's a throwback, except that's all they have. There's nothing to throw back to. They're just gonna have this.
I don't know if you've seen from Terry Landry inside the Bayou Ford Huddle, Washington.
Washington.
I mean, it's just all one word. Washington.
Yeah. Has there ever been? I'm trying to think. That you've always had a mascot, a team name. I can't think of any franchise ever.
Everybody wants to hate on me for liking soccer. This is very soccer.
This is very soccer.
European soccer teams don't have, now they have fan nicknames and chants, and like Everton's the Blues, but they're not the Everton Blues. That's just kind of like the Blues, right? The Manchester United's the Red Devils, but that's not their mascot. It's just kind of that's something with the fans and supporters, right? So this is very just Washington football team, because typically soccer team would be what? Washington FC, which would be what, Hanny?
Football club?
There you go.
So this would be FT? Washington FT?
That's what I'm going to call them.
Yeah.
Washington FT.
The Washington FTs.
I love this.
All right. See, look, we were solving problems today. We're brought to you by Richards Honda, home of the warm and fuzzy feeling. Barrett, Sallee, when we come back, this is Hangin' with Hester and Hanny, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Hangin' with Hester and Hanny.
Gotros Outdoor Power, helping you with all of your property maintenance needs. The folks from Skag giving you great deals on all of their units, including the zero turns and the Liberty residential mowers. When you buy from Gotros and Skag, 60 months interest-free financing is available. Plus, you're going to get free delivery and a 5-year service warranty, so it's 5 years of worry-free mowing. For all of your other property maintenance needs, your blowers, your trimmers, your edgers, your pole saws, and your chainsaws, Gotros has got you taken care of there as well. They've been serving this community for a long time at 2 locations.
In Gonzales, Airline in 74, in Baton Rouge, Airline at Industrial Plex. You can always check them out online, GoTroOutdoorPower.com. Gotros, we make it easy.
We opened up the playbook and expanded our coverage. Listen daily in high definition on 98.1 HD2. We are 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
If I built a van, it would do more than haul.
It would carry my entire business. I'd make it available in dozens, if not thousands of configurations.
It would keep an eye on my fleet.
And an eye out for danger.
If I built a van, I'd make it available in diesel and gas. And I'd build it right here in South Carolina.
Introducing the all-new Sprinter, starting at $33,790. Built in the USA. Mercedes-Benz. Vans. Born to run.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her auctioneer primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an auctioneer care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioneer Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is a local bank with a straightforward philosophy.
It's about doing the right thing for our customers.
Participating in our community with annual local fundraisers. Offering individual attention in a modern banking atmosphere with a trusted local company. Gulf Coast Bank invested in technology with a local touch, giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime.
We're building relationships through personal service as the bank that cares about you.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
To all of our heroes working on the front lines of this COVID-19 pandemic, your bravery and selflessness represent the very best of us, and we want to say thank you. I'm asking everyone around the state to join me in celebrating the heroism of our healthcare professionals on the 19th of every month at 1900 hours, that's 7 p.m. Write a note of appreciation, make plans to donate to charitable organizations, or say a prayer. To learn more, visit 19thanks.org. Thank you, and God bless.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona inviting you to join us for Thursday's AFR, presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana. We got a full hour of football talk with Mike Detillier, so join us for Thursday's AFR 3 to 6, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Hangin with Hester and Hanny on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and 1130 The Tiger.
Brought to you by Richards Honda, home of the warm and fuzzy feeling. Joining us now, college football writer, CBS Sports, Barrett, Sallee. And I feel like I'm outnumbered here because I got two Braves fans. I know, Barrett, as excited as you are about, the college football, hopefully getting here real quickly. The Braves starting off tomorrow is probably what's on your immediate radar, correct?
Yeah, there's no doubt. I mean, Jacob and I have been texting about it. I'm super pumped. In fact, the fact that you have this 60-game sprint, it makes every game so important. Every game's like a 3-game series in terms of what it means. So, yeah, it's odd. I'm so glad to have it back and intrigued on how this whole thing is going to shake out, especially if the playoffs get expanded, which apparently can happen between now and 7 o'clock tonight if the two sides agree to it. So I'm pumped. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Who do we root for tonight in the Yankees and Nationals? Because we have to watch it. It's the first baseball game, but that's like pick your poison and it's not a good thing.
You root for a rainout. That's what you root for.
Oh, come on, I'm disappointing you guys. I mean, you're rooting for the Yankees, right?
Well, Jim Leyert still hurts.
No. No.
Okay, well, the Nats and the Braves are still in the same division, right? I didn't miss that.
Yeah,
so.
I'm basically saying we're not rooting for either team, so it's hard to watch both those teams.
Well, I mean, you root against your division teams, right?
I'm rooting for my fantasy league guys and my DraftKings guys. That's where I'm headed right now.
Oh, all right, Barrett, let's talk some college football as much as I could talk baseball this whole interview here. I know we're all kind of in the waiting period. We're all trying to find out what the conference that we cover, the SEC, is going to do. And we've been throwing around the idea, the SEC, ACC, Big 12, perhaps, just perhaps, they could come to some type of deal where we see games within those leagues, and maybe it's an 8-game conference schedule and 2 games against the other conference. Is there any legs to that? Can you see that happening in any way?
Yeah, I could see that. I think that definitely is one of the options that's being discussed. I think it makes a whole lot of sense, especially with the SEC and the ACC with the 4 rivalry games that exist. It wouldn't surprise me at all if you get those three conferences, the ACC, the SEC, and the Big 12 sort of combining in some sort of marriage, which could give us Texas A&M back, which would be a lot of fun. So I think that there's all three of those conferences were completely blindsided by what the Big Ten did when it announced conference-only schedules. They knew it was a possibility. They had no clue that it had been decided yet. So I think because of that, the lines of communication have been wide open, and some sort of conglomerate between those three conferences is, I think, the most likely scenario, because I think there's a need for out-of-conference games, and obviously you need to have your conference schedules mean a lot too. And I think what the report from the Pac-12 is that they have their conference-only games, but they're scheduling 10 games over a 14-week span. I think that's kind of where the whole, the group of five, the Power Five, all of them are probably going to go down that route, just in case there's, a need to cancel or postpone a game because of, too many people with COVID or whatever. I think that is probably the best and certainly the most likely scenario right now.
Barry, you mentioned the group of five. It seems like they're waiting on the SEC to see what they do as far as the group of five, because so many of those games are tied into SEC, Big 12, and ACC opponents. Do you think that's what they're waiting on?
Yeah, I think that's certainly in the mix. And then once that happens, they can decide, I think as a group, what to do. I don't think conferences will matter at all in the group of five, because obviously finances are already tight. And no matter what happens in football this year, they have to cut costs. I don't think there's any doubt about that. So, if they're not getting those paycheck games, then I think they're going to look for different ways to save money while still keeping the integrity of the season. And I floated the idea out there. I don't know if this is being discussed, but I think it should be discussed, where you just abolish conferences in group of five this year and just play a totally regional schedule. Like, create 5 conferences of totally regional teams that can either bus in and out of away games that day, or can fly in and not be totally stressed. I think that is the concern. If you're not getting those paycheck games, then your bottom line is basically screwed for multiple years. So I think waiting on the big conferences for group of 5 teams and group of 5 conferences is the right way to go. And if they can't play those games and get those paychecks, I think you're going to see a wild time to sort of figure out the best ways for them to save as much money as possible and make as much money as possible, even if that means, playing on weekdays. Because, I think a lot of those teams initially, the MAC and the Sun Belt, play those weekday games in November, because nobody really wants to go to those games in November because it's too cold. It's done just for TV purposes. Well, if there's no fans in the stands, then play every game on the weekday. Maximize that exposure. Do the best you can to be attractive for your TV partners. I think there are going to be a lot of reactions in the group of 5 to whatever the big conferences do.
Barrett, next week, Greg Sankey has indicated that they will make an announcement of some sort. Sort of quietly, there is some momentum building that the first step could be to move the SEC championship game back 2 weeks to give them that 14-week window. But unlike the Pac-12, this is in the interest of getting in 12 games and not just 10. Whether they get there or not, who knows? Do you think that could be the first step we see next week, is a move back of the SEC and ACC Big 12 championship games 2 weeks in December?
I don't think that will be the first part of it. I think it will be mentioned as a possibility. And I think the reason I say that is because, okay, let's start Labor Day weekend or week 0 or whatever. You play 10 games in 14 weeks. Well, you already build in a huge buffer. You've already got a massive buffer in there. So I think if I'm guessing, I think you're going to have a 10-game schedule over 14 weeks, and the SEC championship game, really all the conference championship games, be played as scheduled during their normal weekend, with the understanding that, hey, if that doesn't work out, it is going to be moved back. And we've seen it move back. After 9/11, every conference championship game was played 2 weeks into December. So, I think they'll keep that as an option, but and I think that'll be mentioned with whatever changes they make. But I think it's far more likely that they just spread out a season with fewer games over a longer time span to account for all different kinds of variables.
Barrett, one of my favorite pastimes is like December 17th, we start the first bowl game, and then I just sit on my couch and watch every single game that I can. We cover some of those games, but for the most part, we sit there and we watch every day a college football bowl game. Is there any chance that we can see the bowl season like we normally see it?
Oh, man, I hope so, but I don't know.
Yeah.
You know, obviously they're going to – they already said they're going to count 2 FCS games and lower the standard of scholarship used. I don't necessarily know if that's going to be enough. So I would imagine you don't see all those lower tier games unless the NCAA basically abolishes all quantifiers and all qualifying points you have to meet, which they could do. I hope they do it because otherwise you're not going to have half of the bowl games that you normally see. So, if I had to guess right now, I'd think that you might see a few go away, but that is sort of assuming that no massive changes will come from the NCAA. But we've seen them make some pretty significant changes over this, obviously. So, there's a chance, but I hope so. I'm like you. Bowl games are great. Bowl games are experiences. They're TV shows. They're fun, and they're engineered to be between teams that are pretty darn close in terms of how good they are. So, I hope it stays intact the way it is. Mostly because I want to see the Myrtle Beach Bowl, because that just seems like a fantastic new bowl game that I think everybody should be a part of.
You want to cover that one. You're hoping CBS, Sirius XM, somebody sends you there.
Oh, dude, going to those what are they called? The wave stores with the airbrushes and the Hooters that's on the beach. Sign me up, man. 100%.
Barrett Sallee is our guest. Barrett, yesterday, the governor of New Mexico asked the colleges in that state to postpone all fall sports. Yesterday afternoon, Eddie Nunez, who is the AD at New Mexico, was a guest on our afternoon show after further review. And judging by his tone, everything was, hey, I want to play, but this is what the governor wants. Do you anticipate that we're going to see this reenact itself in other states, specifically in states where the Southeastern Conference is concerned?
Yeah, but I don't think it'll be the same way because I think most governors understand how important, these games are to local economies and stuff. So, and plus they understand how important they are for re-election purposes. That's probably more important to these governors, unfortunately. But I think you will see, government interaction. And really, let's be honest about what's going on. The ADs have no say in any of this. And to an extent, the presidents have no say in any of this. It's really about local and state health officials. So, I think you're going to – mostly every governor in the SEC will have a stance. They'll release their stance. I think universally that will be to play the game somehow, some way. I don't know how much weight that carries because in the end, their decisions are going to be based solely on health recommendations. And I don't think that, every governor is going to want to admit that and basically put his job on the line by saying college football is irrelevant.
Barrett, you're there based in Atlanta. I know we kind of joked and started talking about the Atlanta Braves here at the beginning, but there's a lot of kickoff games every single year in Atlanta, and this year there was going to be 3 big ones. How far out do you think they'll make a decision on those games? Because obviously there's a lot of sponsorship tied to those games. We know one's already kind of been affected. It feels like they're going to try everything they can, obviously, to play those games, but it's going to be pretty difficult.
Yeah, it is. And I think that really – actually talked to Gary Stokin, the president of the kickoff game in Atlanta today. And I think what they really need, what all those kickoff games really need, is the +1 format or the +2 format, 8 games +2 out of conferences. If that's the case, then – you can basically have everything go off without a hitch or at least close to it for most of these kickoff games. Now, obviously, Alabama and USC have to figure out what to do. But I think there'll be plenty of teams that are willing to do that and get all that money that comes with those kickoff games because, let's be honest, all these schools are going to need it. And even a Power 5 opponent wouldn't mind going and getting their tail kicked in by Alabama if it means a $5 million paycheck at this point. So, I think you're going to have for those to survive, you're going to have the +1 or +2 model. And if it's a +1 model, 8 games +1 or 9 games +1 at a conference, I think you would have to do some scrambling in terms of scheduling, but they would still be part of the equation because I think college football, and the conferences understand how important those are for visibility's sake.
Barrett, we appreciate your time as always. Enjoy the Braves game tomorrow.
Hey, let's go, baby. We got Freddie Freeman back.
I'm going to enjoy all 71 wins in a row, and then Jacob can come to Atlanta and we can party in the Battery after the Braves finish off a 71-0 perfect season with the World Series title.
You heard it here first.
Barrett, thanks a bunch.
Appreciate it, Barrett.
See you.
Today's show also brought to you in part by Louisiana Health and Injury Centers, with 4 locations in the Baton Rouge and surrounding areas, helping you deal and manage pain, whether it be from an old auto accident, a sports injury that's nagging, or sometimes you just get a little bit older and things start to hurt a little bit. So whether it's a disc or a muscle or ligament strain, neck or back discomfort, they can help you with a number of different techniques, exercises and stretches, dry needling, electric nerve stimulation, ultrasound, cryotherapy. They will tailor make a program for you, what's best for you to ease your pain, as they've done for me and a number of members in our immediate family. Now with 4 locations, Louisiana Health and Injury Centers, 13406 Airline Highway, 2832 Plank Road, 467 Oak Plaza Boulevard in Brewley, and on Jefferson Highway near Drusilla, with easy access from both I-10 and I-12. Louisiana Health and Injury Centers. Hanging with Hester and Hanny, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Hangin' with Hester and Hanny.
Sports will be back.
But for now, we're all rooting for a different kind of hero.
Let's embody the best parts of sports.
Teamwork,
sacrifice,
resilience.
One goal. Together.
I'm Jay Ducote. I grew up learning how to cook at LSU tailgate parties and right in my own backyard. And I created JD's Louisiana products to bring that Louisiana flavor to you at home for your backyard cookout. JD's Louisiana barbecue sauce, Louisiana molasses mustard, spicy and sweet barbecue rub, and more are available at your local supermarkets or by logging on to jducote.com/shop. Put in promo code CST for 25% off at checkout.
When you want the best of Louisiana, you don't go to a superstore. We know what we like, and we like it local. Same goes for banking. As one of Louisiana's largest local banks, we offer homegrown services crafted around you. Gulf Coast Bank, the bank that cares about you.
Le posso offrire un caffè? Andiamo insieme da me, non c'è.
Call Mr. Electric today for electrical repairs, upgrades, and installations.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Auctioner.
Crime has serious consequences, but anyone can make a mistake. If you find yourself in trouble with the law, know that you have rights, and it's okay to demand them. The law offices of OSSIE Brown are here to protect you and your rights. Felony or misdemeanor, DUI or drug charge. No matter what crime you're accused of, you still have rights. Let the law offices of OSSIE Brown uphold them. Call 225-343-1111. Your law firm for a lifetime.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors. It's the law.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
Tune in to a Thursday edition of Game Time with Jimmy Ott and Ben Mintz. We are live at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar from 6 to 8 p.m. Come say hello and eat some oysters, or listen here on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Hangin with Hester and Hanny on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and 1130 The Tiger.
We're brought to you by Richard's Honda, home of the warm and fuzzy feeling. This is a very interesting question in the Bayou Ford huddle. This is a hypothetical. It says, suppose that a player for LSU, or really any Power 5 D1 team, is on the team all season and plays limited games in the fall. Would they be eligible to transfer to Southern or another school that is playing in the springtime? Now, there's no precedent for this.
No.
I mean, there's never been any. I would imagine the NCAA would have to make a special, specific ruling on this. But I don't see why not, if a guy, especially if a guy was redshirted. If a guy is redshirted and he's not playing and he realizes, hey, I'm gonna move on. Why make him wait? You know, why not let him get on with his career? It's an abbreviated schedule. So you get a kid. I don't think we're talking about any starters doing this. Guys that are playing are going to stay put. So we're talking about reserve players, role players. You play in, well, the redshirt rule is 4. So let's say you got limited action in 4 games for LSU, and you know this isn't for me. I'm moving on, and I want to go play in the spring. On a 6 or 7 game schedule. Why? Give me the case against, okay? Because the case for is a kid wants to move on. Let's let him move on as rapidly as we can. Give me the case against.
You wouldn't be able to do it because, as we learned yesterday, if you're an early enrollee and say you have a spring football season, say that the Power 5 and everybody decides to play in the spring, not only the FCS teams and the conferences that we know, you would not be eligible because it's all about that football season. So basically, you would be playing for 2 teams in the same football season, which will never be allowed.
But not at the Division I level. We're talking about
but we're
talking about FBS and FCS.
But it's still in the same calendar football season, so they would not allow you to do that. Even if I know you're eligible immediately the next year, whenever you go to the FCS, I don't believe they'll let you play for 2 teams in the same year, especially if that season finishes, right? If the book's closed on that FBS season and then here comes the FCS season, they would say you play for 2 teams within the same football season.
I understand that. Yeah. And if we were talking about a permanent move to the spring, I would say, okay, yeah, maybe you're going to have some legislation that governs this for here evermore. But for 1 season, I don't know that I want to restrict a kid that is just trying to get on with his life. Why would I make him wait any more than he has to?
Would you want to hold this to only freshmen? Or would you say, because I think you can make a better case for a senior, Hanny.
Yeah.
If you have a senior that's not playing at LSU, he expected to be a contributor. For some reason, it didn't work out. He doesn't play 4 games. I'm okay with that. That's a different scenario, because if you're a freshman, you still got plenty of time. You honestly do. But if you're a senior, I didn't play like I thought I was going to play. I feel like I can help somebody and maybe get a shot somewhere. That, you're talking about maybe applying for a waiver and getting it, I'm okay with that.
Oh, we're playing the waiver game again.
Yeah, why not?
Can we have some?
There's no rhyme or reason.
Yeah, can we have some explanations for our waivers? Which
no comment.
Yeah, well, right. To me, the rules should exist. The prohibitive rules should exist to stop blatant cheating or to, ensure the health and welfare of the student athlete. If a kid didn't really play in the fall and wants to go play in the spring at a lower classification, I'm inclined to let him go. I don't know what. Now you're going to get charged if you didn't redshirt. You're going to get charged for 2 seasons of eligibility. So you got to make that call. Do you want to have a 7-game season count for your full year of eligibility?
Right.
But if the kid wants to do it, I'm inclined to let him go.
It's hard to speak in absolutes during this time because we have never been in this situation.
And God willing, we'll never be again. But for 1 year,
think about that. Think about.
Go.
I know we're coming up on our break, but think about if you would have said that in February, like the look I would have given you.
Well, when Herb Street said it in March, hey, that we ain't going to have football in the fall, and all went, and well, you know what? A couple of cases, we're not having football in the fall. We'll take a break. Hunt Palmer with us in hour number 2. Hanging with Hester and Hanny, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Hangin' with Hester and Hanny.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her auctioneer primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an auctioneer care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioneer Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is a local bank with a straightforward philosophy.
It's about doing the right thing for our customers.
Participating in our community with annual local fundraisers. Offering individual attention in a modern banking atmosphere with a trusted local company. Gulf Coast Bank invested in technology with a local touch, giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime.
We're building relationships through personal service as the bank that cares about you.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
104.5 ESPN invites you to take a short quiz for a chance to win a brand new EU1000 generator from our friends at Bozeman Distributors. Simply go to 1045ESPN.com now through August 16th and take the quiz to see how prepared you are for hurricane season. Everyone who takes the quiz is automatically entered to win the generator. Our winner will be chosen on Monday, August 17th. Get prepared for hurricane season from 1045 ESPN and stay prepared with Bozeman Distributors.
Hi, this is Chance Inman, President and Chief Operating Officer for Janney King Gulf Coast. Here are some ways to protect yourself and those around you from the coronavirus. Wash your hands often and thoroughly. Cover coughs and sneezes with your elbow. Disinfect high-touch surfaces regularly. Use non-contact methods for greeting others. And avoid touching your face. Following these steps, as well as social distancing, should help all of us stay healthy.
Janney King, the king of clean.
Service Master Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact Service Master Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. Service Master Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
To all of our heroes working on the front lines of this COVID-19 pandemic, your bravery and selflessness represent the very best of us, and we want to say thank you. I'm asking everyone around the state to join me in celebrating the heroism of our healthcare professionals on the 19th of every month at 1900 hours, that's 7 p.m. Write a note of appreciation, make plans to donate to charitable organizations, or say a prayer. To learn more, visit 19thanks.org. Thank you, and God bless.
Crime has serious consequences, but anyone can make a mistake. If you find yourself in trouble with the law, know that you have rights, and it's okay to demand them. The law offices of OSSIE Brown are here to protect you and your rights. Felony or misdemeanor, DUI or drug charge. No matter what crime you're accused of, you still have rights. Let the law offices of OSSIE Brown uphold them. Call 225-343-1111. Your law firm for a lifetime.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Callahan Injury Lawyers. Now, Hangin with Hester and Hanny with Jacob Hester and Charles Hanagriff. Hester and Hanny on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and 1130 The Tiger. Alongside Jacob Hester, here's Charles Hanagriff.
Hour number 2, Hanging with Hester and Hanny and Hunt. 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge, 1130 The Tiger in Shreveport. Also on CST and our YouTube page, 104.5 ESPN. Subscribe today. Get all the shows live. Get all the highlights of all of the shows. You want to go back and listen to things that we have done earlier in the week. It's all available for you right there. And we're brought to you by Richards Honda, home of the warm and fuzzy feeling. Here's warm and fuzzy Hunt Palmer because baseball starts today. You just kind of skipped in here, man.
Well, I'm
you were
not
in such a good
quite
mood.
there. I have a 2:30 conference call today. I have a lot of work to do tonight. Now tomorrow, so the girlfriend lives in New Orleans. We spend weekends together. I told her 2 weeks ago, I said, 2 Fridays from now, I'm eating steak, I'm pouring a scotch, and I'm watching the Cubs. You're welcome to do that right next to me and talk, and I'll be conversational. I'm not going to dinner. I'm not going out. I'm not cleaning the house.
Hunt's putting his foot down, man.
That's all. That's what I'm doing. So tomorrow, after lunchtime, we kick it into gear.
But you're going to watch tonight, right?
I'll have it on. I have a lot to do tonight so that I don't really have to do that much tomorrow.
Okay, that's fair enough. We get a weather report on Washington, D.C. for 6
I
o'clock
heard it's
tonight.
not good.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
And I just think that's cruel and unusual punishment for those. The first, that is typical 2020. Jacob, you're right. That we just have to be punished a little bit more. Is that what this is about?
That's what it feels like.
Yeah. I mean, my gosh, come on. We've been waiting
Although
for
I was
months.
Barrett and I were joking about not watching the game and the Nationals and Yankees. That's a hell of a pitching matchup to open up the year, though. I'm truly looking forward.
I'm
to
alone
it.
on this island, and I'm okay with it. I haven't really looked at stats to back it up. I've just kind of used my eyes the last 5 years. Scherzer, to me, is the best starter of this little generation. Everyone points to Kershaw, and the injuries have slowed him down considerably over the last couple of years. And then there's a few innings that went haywire in October, and I get all that kind of stuff. But Scherzer, to me, he's been, for years, he's been 98 with the heater wherever he wants it. The changeup is devastating, and he does a nasty breaking ball, and he throws a lot of strikes. Kershaw's great. That big loop and breaking ball doesn't do it for me quite as good as the Scherzer slider. I've always thought Scherzer was the best.
Scherzer's a bulldog, too. Like, he'll go after you. And Kershaw, it comes about it a different way, but I don't feel like he's
It's
just
probably
as
recency
gritty.
bias because Kershaw's been slowed for 2 or 3 years now, and he was statistically one of the best pitchers in decades when he was right a few years ago. But I just always thought Scherzer was the best.
Are you holding it against Kershaw the postseason?
I'm not, because I just don't think that, a couple of haywire innings. I realize that you're supposed to rise to the challenge and be your best at that time, but to me, in baseball, sometimes somebody rips it right at somebody. Sometimes somebody flares one into right. Sometimes your shortstop kicks one. It's just, there's too many variables for me. I think the guy's been incredible, and if he had a couple of bad, rocky postseason outings, it happens.
When you talk about Bumgarner, though, we talk about the postseason, how incredible he was, and that's kind of some of his lures because of what he has done in the postseason.
For sure. And then, that's why a lot of people would, over the last few years, would have taken Bumgarner in a World Series game over Kershaw. I probably wouldn't have gone that way.
By the way, he's going to be pitching for the Diamondbacks, and I don't think most of casual baseball fans realize that. Like, he's not with the Giants anymore.
Right. Since you brought it up, let me speak in Braves language here for a minute. One game, you got to win it. Would you have taken Greg Maddux or John Smoltz?
Greg Maddux, John Smoltz.
And okay. See, I was expecting you to say Greg Maddux because then I was going to ask you about the postseason.
Well, that's what I'm thinking. If you're going one game, it is a postseason game, and Smoltz in the postseason was a different pitcher. Now, if you're just talking one game for money and not the postseason, okay, then give me Greg Maddux, because Greg Maddux, to me, you're talking about one of the best right-handed pitchers of all time.
Well, the modern day standard for, and I know wins is not the be all and get all, but guy went over 360 games. I mean, nobody in the modern era has done that since Warren Spahn.
Yeah. What was the one I told you the other day? Complete game in like 74 pitches.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
There's a lot of numbers about Matt, including those with 3 ball counts, which I think a third of them were intentional walks or something like that. And Maddux wasn't bad in the postseason.
No, just Smoltz was next level. Yeah.
There were a couple of times that he got hit hard, but for the most part, Maddux, he pitched to an ERA of a little over 3 in the postseason, so he wasn't bad. But Smoltz arguably had better stuff, for just that short sample size. Maddux over 162 games. If you ask me who I want for the season, I want Maddux. But for one game, I probably side with you. I want Smoltz.
Somewhere in Baton Rouge, T-Bob Hebert is listening to us right now, and he's saying, what about Tommy Glavine? We're just sitting here talking about Braves greats. No Tommy Glavine.
Here's my thing with Glavine. A great pitcher, Hall of Famer.
300-game winner.
Won 300 games. He wasn't quite as good as Maddux, and his overall career wasn't quite as good as Maddux, and his stuff wasn't quite as good as Smoltz, even though he had a better –
Smoltz had the best stuff.
Yeah, Smoltz had the best for one game, just stuff that's, in the postseason, his overall numbers are – this will probably surprise people – his overall numbers from an ERA standpoint were higher than Maddux's in the postseason. But we remember 91.
And in the wins is what his stats.
Yeah, we remember those dominant – we remember that World Series dominant outing. We remember the 2 or 3 games that he pitched in 90 and 91 – 91 and 92 when he was the MVP of the National League Championship Series and just was almost unhittable. That was against that Bonds and Bonilla,
Pirates,
Andy Van Slyke Pirates team. But, no, I thought that just pure stuff, Smoltz probably had the best, but Maddux was the best pitcher of the three.
Maddux threw harder than most people in my generation realize, because we saw it at the end when he was flirting with 89, 90, before the Padres got, when he was still a functional pitcher, he was pitching. But he pitched in the low 90s. When he was winning Cy Youngs and winning 22 games a year.
Isn't that what makes a great pitcher, though? You lose velocity, and you're still getting people out. Mariano Rivera was probably throwing 5 to 6 miles an hour less than he was in his prime in his last year. And that damn cutter, you couldn't hit it.
That's what got Trevor Hoffman. Trevor Hoffman didn't throw necessarily. He wasn't a guy that was hitting 98. But he threw hard enough, and his changeup was so good that the difference was what made him a great pitcher. And once it became closer, once that gap closed a little bit and he didn't have as much on the fastball, that's when he really started to struggle.
Same with King Felix to an extent. Once it came down from the high 90s, he just was a nice pitcher.
Yeah.
Trevor Hoffman developed that changeup, though, that would just make you look silly, right? Dodgers and Giants second game. Mookie Betts, a rich man, what'd you think of that contract?
I mean, he's that good. And I think there were a lot of people, especially Red Sox fans, that thought, we can't guarantee that we're going to pay him, so we'll get something for him, and then hopefully when it comes to free agent, he liked his time here so much that he'll come back. And for me, it's a very similar deal with what the Cubs have with Chris Bryant right now. Now, he's not to the level of Betts, but he's a Boris guy, and he's not going to, take a big discount. Now, Chris Bryant really likes Chicago, but that doesn't matter when you're a Boris client and you're on your biggest contract that's coming up. And so the Cubs are going to have to, either face the music and try to get something for him or risk him walking. And so if you're a Red Sox fan, you're bummed that you lost a generational talent that is going to make the vast majority of his career somewhere else, but you got something for him and you didn't lose him for nothing.
So I know you're as big a college baseball fan as I am. Does this have a college feel to it because of the number of games? I mean, the SEC games feel like it's life or death out there every inning. To me, at least, it did, because there was only 30 of them, and that made up a little bit than half the season. You just felt like, man, if you lost the first 2 games of a series, just buried. Is it going to have that kind of feel?
Yeah, I mean, it matters more. I remember texting Will Davis back when I
SEC
was
uses that, you know.
when I
just
was
management.
when I was covering the team, and you go through the month of non-conference games, and a lot of times, especially on Sundays, it gets out of hand and it's 14-4 and whatever. And then they, whoever they opened with that year, might have been Mississippi State, might have been whoever, Arkansas. And the first game, it kind of was close, and we lost by a run. And the second game came down to the wire, and we won. Scored 3 in the 8th and won. And I texted Will Davis after 2 SEC games, and I go, I forgot how hard these things are to win.
Yeah,
to get one of them, it's hard. And that's what it's kind of feel like. Every loss is magnified. Every tweaked ankle is magnified. I mean, it's gonna be a sprint, and I kind of like that vibe for. It's kind of like a little bit of college. And I'm saying, based on what I felt on Sunday night, just watching a scrimmage, I'll be keyed up tomorrow.
Every one of these starts for the Scherzers, the Garrett Coles, you're gonna get about 12. It's 10 to 12 starts, and I would say of the 10 to 12 starts, at least half of them, I think you're probably going to be under 100 pitches. That's just a guess. I mean, some guys might top out of that. I could be completely wrong on that, but I don't. The Yankees have got so much money tied up in Garrett Cole. I'm not going to run him out there first time out to 112 pitches. I'm not going to even do that in the first probably 3, maybe 4 weeks of the season. I mean, would you run Garrett Cole out there for 112 pitches in April?
No, you wouldn't.
In a regular year? No, you're probably not. And I know it's warmer now, but
that's part of it. I would think he'd be ramped up. He's one of those guys who's made his money and is going to want to go pitch. So I think he'll be ready to go. And start number 3, they'll take the leash off and just go.
Okay, start number 3. So you're talking about
week and a half.
Yeah, I get 60 games, man. You're going to get about 12 starts. That's limited pitches in 25% of your starts.
And plus, you've got a 30-man roster, so the bullpen's deeper. I mean,
what's going to come back is and be very valuable is these multi-inning middle relievers. Yep. I mean, those guys are going to be like gold. If you can go out there and bridge, we talk about traditional setup guys in the 8th inning. In this type of season, those guys that can go out and get you from the 6th to the 8th, man, you want to talk about worth their weight in gold.
It's funny, they call them long relievers now, and they're only pitching 2.5, 3 innings. But in today's game, the way it was up until this year where you have to at least face 3 batters, that's kind of what they were. They either came in if somebody got hurt or if your starter was ineffective and you had to eat up some innings. But now in this format, in this model, those guys will be key.
And I think what you're definitely going to see, some managers really subscribe to it, some don't. Just to each his own. And I wouldn't know about David Ross. It's his first time out, but I know now because of the new rules. With pitchers having to face 3 guys, they're going to stack it left, right, left. The Cubs are going to come out, and every single game it's going to be Bryant 1, Rizzo 2, Baez 3, Schwarber 4, Contreras 5, Hayward 6, Happ is a switch hitter. That's staggered the entire time. They're going to come out with that every day.
Well, they don't even need to pay Ross. They could just send you up
well,
there.
when they're gonna if they're at the top of the order, you're gonna have a guy backwards facing either Rizzo, Bryant, Baez, Schwarber. One or two of those guys are gonna see somebody throwing from the wrong side. It's something they wouldn't necessarily see in the old model.
Break time here on Hanging with Hester and Hanny. Hunt Palmer with us. This hour brought to you by Richards Honda, home of the warm and fuzzy feeling. 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Hanging with Hester and Hanny.
All right, speaking of Richards Honda, of course, they're the title sponsor of the show, Hester and Hanny, here on 104.5. You can find them at richardshonda.com where you can do it all. I'll tell you every single day, if you're looking for their specials, it's right there on the homepage in the bottom left corner of the website. If you want to have a conversation with sales, right there in the bottom right corner of the website, it's going to pull it up. You can chat with sales. They're going to give you an answer right there on the spot. You can do a lot on the website, though. You can schedule that service. You can order parts and accessories. You can also check out 700 new and pre-owned vehicles on the website. But I would encourage you, though, get out and go see them. Go to the lot at 13413 Millerville Greens Boulevard in Baton Rouge. That's I-12 and Millerville. You're going to find something you fall in love with over at Richards Honda. No matter what you're looking for, they've got you covered. If you're looking for a car, they've got multiple cars with the Accord, the Civic, and the Fit. They've got hybrids. They got a midsize SUV hybrid, the CRV hybrid they just brought onto the line. Of course, midsize SUVs, they've got you covered. Full-size SUV, the Pilot, which seats 8. They've got the Odyssey minivan, the Ridgeline truck. That's Richards Honda, home of the warm and fuzzy feeling.
Off the Bench, Hanging with Hester and Hanny. After further review and more are all live daily on the 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge YouTube page. Subscribe now to interact with us inside the live chat. Find highlights for each show's channel and get notified whenever we go live.
crime has serious consequences, but anyone can make a mistake. If you find yourself in trouble with the law, know that you have rights, and it's okay to demand them. The law offices of OSSIE Brown are here to protect you and your rights. Felony or misdemeanor, DUI or drug charge. No matter what crime you're accused of, you still have rights. Let the law offices of OSSIE Brown uphold them. Call 225-343-1111. Your law firm for a lifetime.
Le posso offrire un caffè? Le posso offrire un caffè? Andiamo insieme da me, non c'è.
Call Mr. Electric today for electrical repairs, upgrades, and installations.
Do you know the proper way to prevent the spread of COVID-19 in your office? We do. We're Janny, a leader in the cleaning industry for over 30 years, and we've developed comprehensive programs to address proper cleaning and disinfection. We have experience in applying disinfecting programs in hospitals, office buildings, schools, and other venues. Now we're ready to help and able to assist customers that need disinfecting services.
The king of clean.
Reviews are a smart judge of character. If you see this, it's time to move on. But this, now that's a keeper. Richards Honda is proud of our 97% customer satisfaction rating. Every day, we're stepping up our game to make you feel safe, from masks to social distancing to new ways to shop. Richards Honda is committed to fanatical customer care. Because when people call you the smart choice, you'd better live up to it. Visit us today, I-12 at Millerville Road and richardshonda.com.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Ochsner.
Citizens Bank is proud to bring you the Fan of the Week. But during these times with no fans, Citizens Bank is switching its support to the Banking on BR campaign to raise money for the Baton Rouge Food Bank. You can help out by visiting brfoodbank.org or bankingonbr.com.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you.
Coming up on Friday's Off the Bench, Hunt Palmer movie reviews are out and baseball's in. Plus, Cole Kublik talks SEC football, LSU opens up football school, and we preview Pelican scrimmage part 2. Off the Bench, 7 to 10 a.m., 104.5 ESPN.
Hangin with Hester and Hanny on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and 1130 The Tiger.
Great deals going on at Hungry Howie's. Of course, Hunt didn't bring us any. He brought us an empty box again. But
Sure.
if we want to go to Hungry Howie's, they got great deals going right now.
You can go right there, Nicholson, just south of campus at Lee. Mix and match is still going on for July. Just $5.99 a piece. Pick 2 of any of the following. You can get a regular salad, a medium pizza with that free flavored crust, stuffed Howie bread. I personally like to stuff the bread with the bacon. If you want some jalapeno or some Cajun seasoning, you can go get after that. 4-pack of Pepsi, regular calzone style sub. Any of those 2, just $5.99 a piece at Hungry Howie's. You can do that at hungryhowies.com. Get the Hungry Howie's app. That's how I do it. It's the best way to set your delivery time, set your pickup time, customize your order, enter your payment. Hungry Howie's app is the place to be. Make Hungry Howie's a part of your weekend. hungryhowies.com and the Hungry Howie's app.
Yes.
I like
Okay,
that.
Much better than the other one.
I like that.
Fantastic drop in there. Yesterday we had Cody Worsham on. We were talking about Myles Brennan in the Hay Fighting podcast that he had with Brennan. Wanted to follow up a little bit on that, and we'll hear a little bit from Brennan. And the number one question he's going to get, no media days, so he was spared being asked all of those times about following Joe Burrow.
When I get asked those questions, I try and tell myself, like he's gone, and he's no longer here, and he's no longer going to be playing for LSU, and like it's time for me to step into that role. And I can talk about what he did, but talking about last year's team and what we did last year is not going to, and talking about Joe is not going to help us in the future.
Yeah.
It's not going to do any good for us, reflecting what we did last year. But yeah, I mean, it is time to. Joe's going to get all the credit that he deserves, in interviews and things like that. But at the same time, it's my time, and I fully understand that. And, I'm going to do, everything in my power to make, take full advantage of that.
Just get overblown, Jake, that he's being asked about this. He knows it's coming. Yeah. And pretty much after you get through August and maybe the first couple of games, assuming they play, it's asked and answered at that point, right?
I think he's in a much better situation to be able to handle those questions because of how old he is and how long he's been here. Think about if he was a second-year player here. He redshirted last year, and then he was this big-time recruit. He's a redshirt freshman, and now you got to take over for Joe Burrow. I think LSU's got one of the best comps that you can throw with this as far as a quarterback that gets picked number 1 overall, Jamarcus Russell, and a guy that waited his turn, that was a talented guy, right, that to push to be the starter at times like Matt Flynn did. Then Matt Flynn comes over and he takes over, wins a national championship. And so I understand the comp's not exactly the same because Joe won the Heisman, all those things, but Jamarcus, number 1 pick, pretty damn good quarterback. But, he's got to have that mentality. This is my team now, which, everything sounds good, but he's got to have that mentality. I do think he's set up better to handle that because he's in the situation just like Flynn was. He's an older player. He's been here. Ensminger's been here his entire time, right? So they've got a great relationship. And so if you want to look for a comp, that's obviously going to be one that you hear a ton about.
Being the quarterback at a high-profile program is difficult, and it's difficult for a lot of reasons. Now, some of those reasons may be alleviated a little bit by this COVID. It may not be that, because when Myles Brennan steps under center, whatever he does is almost certainly going to fall short of what we watched last year. And so when he misses a receiver or throws a pick six or, fumbles or, doesn't hit a third down throw, whatever, you may see a negative reaction in Tiger Stadium that's used to perfection all of a sudden. And that can be tough. And then you've got dealing with being a part of the student body. And I want to tell a story because it's one that, I think not a lot of people know. But I was on campus, obviously, when Jarrett Lee had his redshirt freshman season where he threw too many interceptions. And LSU lost to Georgia, and he threw an interception, a pick six on the first play of that game, and it had been, he'd thrown like 8 of them at that point. And I get into class, and Jarrett Lee wasn't in my class, but I opened the Reveille, and on the front page of the Reveille, the headline is an UGA and UGA for Georgia, an UGA-Lee loss, an UGA-Lee loss, which is essentially saying the quarterback stunk and we lost to Georgia. Did you see that? And it rubbed me so violently the wrong way. I emailed the editor of the Reveille. I said, this is disgusting. I don't care. And she sent some garbage about how that she's not an LSU fan. She's fair and balanced. And I just blew another gasket and was like, you write for the LSU student paper. You go here. I get you have to, present things in an objective manner, but that's just bashing a kid because you didn't think he played well enough. And so my fear is, what if Myles Brennan doesn't meet the expectations that we now have? How does he handle it? I don't worry about him in the media. He's going to be fine. I think, Jacob, you're around. I think the guys like him. I think he's doing a good job of leading the team. It's about how you deal with adversity, and it comes in a lot of different shapes and sizes.
If Jarrett Lee, in a perfect world, would have had the career path that Myles Brennan had, the ability to sit behind an experienced player, learn the system, mature physically, mentally, the whole thing, it may have turned out so much different for him here.
Oh, I think you're exactly right. He was out there in San Diego with us. He was an undrafted player, but he came and he lasted through camp, and there was real conversations of Jarrett Lee either making the team or trying to hide him on the practice squad. Now, we had a couple of veteran quarterbacks, and it was hard for San Diego, but North Turner loved him. He thought he had some talent. So I think you're exactly right. If he would have had the situation where he gets to sit and learn and watch, because, we all remember, Myles Brennan pushed Danny Etling for a long time. There was moments when Myles would come in and replace Danny. Myles was in the
Sirius game, right? The one I remember.
Troy game. He was in Tuscaloosa.
Yeah, at Alabama. We were down 2 scores, like 2.5 minutes to go. All right, throw the kid in there.
Right?
It's like, what is this?
So I mean, he's had moments where he's competed to be the guy. Now those were a long time ago, but I think that sets you up much better. It's not saying he's going to be successful as Joe Burrow, right? I'm not trying to compare the two, but I think those experiences, they help you because you're not just new to this. I mean, he has been in a battle. He's been in these meeting rooms. He knows the coaching staff. He knows the players, and so all that is already out of the way, right? Trying to gain the team and win the team over, and so I think that sets you up much better than if you're a young football player. And so, yeah, he's going to get asked about it, but I think he can handle it because of where he's at.
Another thing that quarterbacks are tasked with is the leading of summer workouts. That's been particularly challenging given the restrictions and the protocols, and Brennan talked about that.
Really not much has changed because, I prepared every single week, as if I was going to be the starter. And just in case anything were to happen, I was going to have to go in that, the rest of the game, the rest of the season and play like I was the starter. So I really prepared, as the best I could every single week. Now it's really just, getting the timing down with the receivers and, just having that terminology to where we can communicate different things and getting, dips right and just actually being the guy that's doing the action and not just standing behind and listening, So I feel like that's just been the most important thing as we are working in the off season.
Jacob, those workouts from last summer, the stories kind of grew in legend as the season went along. It's like they were talking about, hey, this is what we drilled in the summer, and nobody ever missed a workout, and every group had a leader. How do they simulate that this summer? I mean, how are they able to work around the workarounds to get all that done?
It's a little bit more difficult. There's no question about that. You can't just go to the indoor facility and get a bag of balls from the equipment room and go out there and throw. So it's been more challenging, but all that I've heard is Myles has tried to do it. He's continued to try to push the point of, hey, we got to get together, we got to throw, we got to do everything possibly that we can. Even when they weren't allowed on campus, he was doing it elsewhere, and that's on the quarterback. It's without a doubt on the quarterback. And I remember Jamarcus even got in trouble one time because Jamarcus called up Southern, and we had a 7-on-7 against Southern. And Jimbo got so mad that Jamarcus did that, but Jamarcus like, look, I was trying to get better. I wanted to work. We weren't going to go against our own guys. We had gone against them so many times in the past. We wanted to go against another team. Southern's right down the road.
Is that against the rules?
I don't know, but we
did
did it.
Why was Jimbo mad?
Because Jimbo's always mad.
Okay.
But he got mad at Jamarcus for doing it. I get, probably getting hurt and all those different things. But, it's on the quarterback to do those things because if the quarterback does it, everybody else is going to fall in line. We know the receiving room's got really good leaders, not only with Marshall and Chase, but Racy McMath was a special teams captain type of guy, right? So he's got that leadership quality as well. I'd be very interested to see how the running back group, who emerges as that leader right now. Who's the voice that says, hey, guys, we're going to be there. All three of us, we're all going to be there. Tight ends kind of run with the receivers, but it all starts with the quarterback. If your quarterback's doing those things, the last thing you want to do as a position player is your quarterback take the time, call a team 7-on-7, a throwing session, and you're the one guy not there because you're going to get called out.
The one constant that Myles Brennan has had since he's been here has been Steve Ensminger. Remember that when he got here, Matt Canada was the guy calling the plays. So he's been here quite some time. That seems like a long, long time ago. But Ensminger, though he has changed positions since Brennan got here, has been the one constant. And Brennan talked about his relationship with his OC.
No, he's been really important. Since I've been here, he's kind of been like my foundation. He's been like my starting point. When I came in, he was coaching tight ends, and then that next year, he took over the quarterback room, and then from there on, he's been in there. And just to have a guy like him and a coach with all of his knowledge, and then he's the thing I like about him the most is he's played the position and he's played it here. So he knows what he's talking about. He's not just a quarterback coach. He's actually played the position. But yeah, he's definitely been like, I like to say just like the rock in my foundation since I've been here.
Now, Steve has told us that we can't have him on for another 6 months, so we're going to have to take Brennan's word for this all the way through the season. But what do you think that relationship is like right now? Because Brennan has been in that room for an awfully long time.
I can tell you, on air, off the air, behind closed doors, any situation I've ever seen that relationship, it's great. And there's a good communication there, and it's really even grown this offseason. And the one thing, there's many things, and Steve Ensminger is a national treasure, but one of the things I really enjoy about him, he's going to say what he feels. And I'll always go back to the coach's caravan because I asked him about the offensive line. I said, how big of a concern is that for you? He said, oh, it's a big concern. And then he went into detail about why it's a concern. And some of that is played out. Now you get some depth with Liam Shanahan, all those things. But my point is, he said it's a concern. When I asked him about Myles Brennan in the same interview, he said, get on the bandwagon now. Go ahead and get on it. And so he's going to tell you what he thinks. And so that gives you encouragement. That relationship has continued to grow. And I said it earlier, I think it is important that they've been together their entire time. They know each other, and they've been able to grow together. And look, Coach Ensminger knows his weaknesses. He knows what he's got to work on more than anybody else. And so all those things, man, that's a big factor. And like I said, I take a lot what Steve Ensminger says, because if it comes to his mind, it's coming out of his mouth. And, you know, he said get on the bandwagon.
If you ever get bored and you're looking for something to do, looking to kill some time, try to find somebody that has a negative thing to say about Steve Ensminger. The man, the football mind, coach, recruiter, it's all positive.
Limited media availability.
And that's it. There you go.
But when he's on, he's gold.
But
when he's on, he is good. And you know, and you heard Myles talk about it. Like, he's played the position here. He's played it at LSU, right? He fought for his time there. He was a guy who rotated a little bit, whatever. All those things, man, all those little small factors, all that kind of stuff adds up that he can relate to Myles.
Today's show brought to you also in part by Supreme Rice. Supreme Rice, grown meal process right here in South Louisiana. Support your Louisiana farmers and buy Supreme Rice, whether it's the brown or the long grain or the jasmine rice. It's a particular favorite of ours. Supreme Rice will stretch your food dollar here in the middle of phase 2. So whether it's gumbo, etouffee, red beans, white beans, or your own specialty dishes, get Supreme Rice. It's a happy palate. It's a happy family with Supreme Rice. You can get it at all of your Walmarts, all of your Matherns, all of your Costco's, all of your AG dealers, Rouse's as well. It's easy to get, and it's affordable. So get Supreme Rice when you go out for your next meal. And for more information and great recipes and some unique recipes, go to supremerice.com. Take a break, come back with more Hangin' with Hester and Hanny, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Hangin' with Hester and Hanny. Our listeners fire off their opinions on the jimsfirearms.net hotline at 499-1045. Keep listening for your next chance to shoot us your thoughts with the jimsfirearms.net hotline on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Reviews are a smart judge of character. If you see this, it's time to move on. But this, now that's a keeper. Richards Honda is proud of our 97% customer satisfaction rating. Every day, we're stepping up our game to make you feel safe, from masks to social distancing to new ways to shop. Richards Honda is committed to fanatical customer care. Because when people call you the smart choice, you'd better live up to it. Visit us today, I-12 at Millerville Road and richardshonda.com.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her auctioneer primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an auctioneer care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioneer Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
To all of our heroes working on the front lines of this COVID-19 pandemic, your bravery and selflessness represent the very best of us, and we want to say thank you. I'm asking everyone around the state to join me in celebrating the heroism of our healthcare professionals on the 19th of every month at 1900 hours, that's 7 p.m. Write a note of appreciation, make plans to donate to charitable organizations, or say a prayer. To learn more, visit 19thanks.org. Thank you, and God bless.
If I built a van, it would do more than haul.
It would carry my entire business. I'd make it available in dozens. Make that thousands of configurations.
It would keep an eye on my fleet.
And an eye out for danger.
If I built a van, I'd make it available in diesel and gas.
and I'd build it right here in South Carolina.
Introducing the all-new Sprinter, starting at $33,790. Built in the USA. Mercedes-Benz. Vans. Born to run.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is a local bank with a straightforward philosophy.
It's about doing the right thing for our customers.
Participating in our community with annual local fundraisers. Offering individual attention in a modern banking atmosphere with a trusted local company. Gulf Coast Bank invested in technology with a local touch, giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime.
We're building relationships through personal service as the bank that cares about you.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona inviting you to join us for Thursday's AFR, presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana. We got a full hour of football talk with Mike Detillier, so join us for Thursday's AFR 3 to 6, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Hangin with Hester and Hanny on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and 1130 The Tiger.
Go to 1045ESPN.com now through August 16th and take a quiz to see how prepared you are for hurricane season. Everyone who takes the quiz will instantly put their name in a drawing for a brand new EU1000 generator from Bozeman Distributors. Get prepared for hurricane season with 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge. Stay prepared with Bozeman Distributors.
Hunt believes Les was just about to change the offense.
No, I don't.
Hey, there'll be no less slander here.
That's why he's never going to win a Big 12 game.
He already won one.
Nope, doesn't
Hunt,
count.
Hunt, if you have more points than the opponent when the clock hits 000, it does not matter how you got more points.
Doesn't count.
I was going to just take this segment off after that. I just going to let you
right down the street.
I'll just let you
go
guys,
get my steak.
I'll just let you guys go right ahead with that one.
You know what? There is some sports news that I don't think would typically get talked about that I feel is important. Mike Tyson and Roy Jones Jr. are fighting in an exhibition fight, and the undercard to that, former NBA guard Nate Robinson is fighting YouTube star Jake Paul in the same fight. The undercard to the, I guess, main event of Tyson and Jones Jr.
They missed their window. In April
COVID.
or May, we would have watched. I mean, it's out of just morbid curiosity. We'll probably watch anyway. But
I'm watching Iron Mike.
How old is Tyson now?
He's in his mid-50s.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, this is like
His last
this is like
fight
one of the bad
was-
Rocky movies at the end when he's still fighting. You know, the last one he did when he fought when he was like 50. So come on, man. Now,
last fight was 04?
Tell me when he lost to Holyfield the second time, that was it. When he had to go to the ear body. And you understand that when Tyson fought, when he was in his prime, I was in college. This was appointment viewing. Okay, if there would have been a Tyson fight on against an LSU football game, I'm telling you, we were watching Tyson. I was in school when Curly was a coach, so just, keep that in mind. These were events. This was. Everybody pool your money for pay-per-view, put your money in the hat.
Right.
We're coming to watch a fight. And you better get there at the beginning because you don't know how long it's going to last.
Yeah.
But come on, man, he's 50, whatever he is. I know.
He has gotten back in shape. Now, Roy Jones Jr., he was fighting. He's that guy that was like fighting in Biloxi a couple of years ago. I think his last fight was only like 2 or 3 years ago. So he has been, fighting in recent memory, where Tyson, it's been 15 years, but Iron Mike looks pretty good.
And for probably a period of, I would say, close to 3 years, Roy Jones Jr. was the best pound-for-pound fighter in the world. But that was 20 years ago, probably. Tyson lost his last fight to, I think the guy's name was Peter McNeely or whoever that tomato can that nobody had ever heard of, and it's like, man, come on, it's over.
I have no interest.
Those fights that I remember, if you go watch, and I did fall down that rabbit hole one day during the shutdown, was all of Tyson's knockouts all the way through the loss to Buster Douglas. Okay, up until that point, the guy was just an absolute terror in the ring, and even after. When he came out after he lost to Douglas and he'd gone to prison, he came back, and those fights with Frank Bruno were, you want to talk about throwing some hands. Those guys were absolutely swinging. But I can't. I can't now. But in May, I might have done it in May.
So Tyson lost his last 2 fights. July 30th of 2004 to Danny Williams.
Danny Williams, yeah.
KO in the 4th round.
Peter McNeely was the guy he fought in the comeback when they were trying to.
Danny Williams and Peter McNeely sounds like Tyson got in the ring and they drew a raffle out for somebody in the stands to come fight.
That's
his
what
last
McNeely
fight was Kevin McBride. He also lost that fight, and that was in 2005.
Kevin McBride.
Kevin McBride.
Danny Williams and then Kevin McBride.
What was Kevin McBride's career record? Since you're right there.
Danny McBride is.
He had 46 total fights. He had 35 wins, 10 losses.
A 35-10 fighter.
Who lost he lost 6 of his last 7 professional fights.
But he beat. By that time, he had beaten a watered down Mike Tyson.
He beat Mike Tyson.
See, that's where you completely lose me. The end of those careers. That's what was so frustrating about boxing. After a handful of those guys had aged out, the younger guys, they wouldn't make the fight that they needed to make when they needed to make them. That's what's always been frustrating about the sport. When Marvin Hagler fought Ray Leonard, they fought 5 years too late. It was still a good fight, but 4 years prior to that, man, that would have been the best fight you've ever seen. It would have been Hagler and Hearns fought at the right time. Okay, yeah. Lewis and Ali, Frazier and Ali fought at the first one anyway. Yeah. It fought at the right time. By the time Ali fought Larry Holmes, okay, then that's not.
It's like Mayweather-Pacquiao, same thing.
Yeah, that fight should have happened 5 to 7 years before it did. Even Tyson Holyfield was supposed to happen 4 years before it did. When Tyson went to jail the first time, he and Holyfield were about to fight. That would have probably been a really, really good fight, because by that time, Tyson had kind of gotten himself back, over the mismanagement that he had in the loss to Douglas. He had kind of gotten himself back into shape. That would have been a really good, and Holyfield was at probably the height of his powers. That would have been a really good fight.
Do y'all have and I know, Hunt, you're not the biggest boxing fan, but do y'all have a most hated boxer of all time? There was just something about him. I hated Lennox Lewis. Couldn't stand him.
Really?
And I don't know what it was.
Big English guy?
Yeah. And looks like a nice guy. I don't know what it was.
I'm not a big
Floyd
Mayweather guy.
Rooted against him.
Well, Mayweather's frustrating to watch fight because he's such a good technical fighter. Yeah, he is such a defensive fighter. I mean, you can't lay a glove on him, but he's not going to wow you with his power either. I was aggravated with Larry Holmes for a while because there were, but that was because I was a younger person. I didn't realize just what a powerful boxer he was. He had probably the best jab in the history of the heavyweight division. I don't know that anybody ever had a better jab than Larry Holmes. And there was something that rubbed me the wrong way about him, but as I got older, I learned to appreciate his skill as a boxer more.
Did he fight Ali in the Dome? Is that right?
No, that was Leon Spinks.
Okay, that's right.
He did fight Ali.
The picture and the ticket in his office.
He fought Ali in Las Vegas, and Ali was 38, I think, 37 or 30. He was well past his prime, and Holmes at that time was still the best heavyweight in the world. So it was a complete mismatch. If that match happens well, I don't know that their primes really crossed. Ali's prime was well before Holmes's prime, so that analogy probably doesn't.
My dad was in dental school when Ali fought Spinks in the Dome, and his buddy's dad was on the Superdome committee or something.
Yeah.
So he got in on like the third row, and he was sitting next to Travolta at the fight.
Well, that would have been, that fight was in '78, I believe. So Travolta would have just done Saturday Night Fever. So
I mean,
he was in Grease.
He was wearing like a canary leisure suit.
John Travolta was one of the biggest stars in Hollywood at the time.
That's right after Welcome Back, Kotter.
It was a couple of years after Welcome Back, Kotter. I like the song. The song is good.
Did y'all see my tweet today?
I didn't.
T-Bob texted me this morning and said, "Do you have a movie for this week?" I sent back, "I do not." He said, do you want one, or do you just want to talk baseball? And I put in all caps, baseball. And then I posted Swing Shot Up and said, I'm free.
Done with that.
No movie review.
No more movies.
It's over.
I'm just jealous that Hanny grew up like when heavyweights were all the rage. You had some really good heavyweights. Because for me, like when I think of boxing, it's Pacquiao, it's Ricky Hatton, it's Mayweather, it's the smaller boxers, and that was the main cards. Even Roy Jones Jr., he wasn't a heavyweight.
Well, the heavyweights dominated all of the news, but the welterweight division and they Sugar Ray Leonard, Marvin Hagler, Thomas Hearns, Roberto Duran, those four in this kind of a round robin thing from say 1980 to 1986 had some of the most hellacious fights you've ever seen. If you want to see a boxing match, you can YouTube it. It's very easy to find.
The whole
Hagler and Hearns. It's 3 rounds, and it remains the best fight I've ever seen. It's absolutely 3 rounds of we throwing hands, boys. It's something to watch, and you just never see that.
Cement shoes.
Hey, before we take a break, y'all didn't talk about Nate Robinson and YouTube star Jake Paul in the undercard.
Because I don't know who Jake Paul is.
I don't really know who he is either. I know Nate Robinson. He played for the Knicks.
He'd win a dunk contest against Jake Paul.
Nate Robinson was short, right?
He's like
5'10".
He had some bounce to him.
Okay, well, probably not going to watch that one.
Okay.
Probably won't watch the other one either. Take a break, come back here, hanging with Hester and Hanny, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Hangin' with Hester and Hanny. In times of need, get a full list of phone numbers, websites, and other important emergency information on the Demco Stormwatch page at 1045ESPN.com.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
Toyota, we don't just sell cars, we buy them too. Bring your car in so we can see it, and within minutes you can turn your car into cash or trade it in towards your next vehicle. It's a fast and easy process. We buy your car at Corval Toyota in Opelousas, Happy Town, USA.
This is a house call. This is a test result. This is a prescription refill. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare. Start your virtual visit today at Auctioner Health.
Crime has serious consequences, but anyone can make a mistake. If you find yourself in trouble with the law, know that you have rights, and it's okay to demand them. The law offices of OSSIE Brown are here to protect you and your rights. Felony or misdemeanor, DUI or drug charge. No matter what crime you're accused of, you still have rights. Let the law offices of OSSIE Brown uphold them. Call 225-343-1111. Your law firm for a lifetime.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals.
But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is a local bank with a straightforward philosophy.
It's about doing the right thing for our customers.
Participating in our community with annual local fundraisers, offering individual attention in a modern banking atmosphere with a trusted local company. Gulf Coast Bank invested in technology with a local touch, giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime.
We're building relationships through personal service as a bank that cares about you.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
If I built a van, it would do more than haul.
It would carry my entire business. I'd make it available in dozens. Make that thousands of configurations.
It would keep an eye on my fleet.
And an eye out for danger.
If I built a van, I'd make it available in diesel and gas. And I'd build it right here in South Carolina.
Introducing the all-new Sprinter, starting at $33,790. Built in the USA. Mercedes-Benz. Vans. Born to run.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644.
Tune in to a Thursday edition of Game Time with Jimmy Ott and Ben Mintz. We are live at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar from 6 to 8 p.m. Come say hello and eat some oysters, or listen here on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Hangin with Hester and Hanny on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and 1130 The Tiger.
Every time Hunt talks about boxing, he brings up Rocky Marciano. This is a nice
There you
little.
go.
That's a Coming to America drop.
Yeah,
in.
that's the one scene I liked in Coming to America.
The barbershop scene.
That's it.
It's funny. Hunt misses toss lead.
No, he doesn't.
No.
Excuse me, that's 48-49 horn boss.
No, that's toss dive.
No, it's not. To you, it is.
Pitch dive, toss lead.
It's
everybody's
48-49 horn boss. That's the name of the play.
How many times y'all run that a game?
A bunch, and I loved it. Now it got to a point in offensive philosophy where it needed to go away. But in my time in college football, when people were still doing that, I enjoyed the play because it gave me a little bit extra time to read the defense. Now, about 2013-14, I was thinking if they run that play one more time.
Read what defense? There were 9 guys waiting for you to line the scrimmage.
When I was playing. Now, when they were doing it, yes, I was the person screaming at the TV. If they do that one more time.
Read the defense. You know, all those guys standing right next to the line of scrimmage?
See, but we had 3 first-round picks, basically talent-wise, at receiver. We did have to Debo, Buster, both first-round picks. Early Doucette, I truly feel like was a first-round talent, just banged up in his college career.
Some really good receivers on the 13 team, too, and they kept running that play.
Hanny, I'm talking about
In
07.
Okay, all right.
I was yelling with you in 13.
It had run its course by that point.
But I can't hate on that play because it made me some dollars and cents.
Right. Okay, well, share. Hunt thinks Juan Soto didn't test positive for COVID today. Okay, this gets us. No, he does think that he did. So this is the test case, right? For how much time you're going to miss, or it could be a potential test case for it. He didn't report until July 16th, and the rules mandating if you come into contact with someone who had coronavirus, you got to self-quarantine for 14 days. That was what the rule was on July the 16th. So 14 days that gets you to July the 30th. So we're going to take a look at this. Ordinarily, you miss a week of the season. Well, you miss a week of the season, not just so much more amplified.
Can I change my MVP pick on this show?
Nope, you
can't
can
do that?
not.
I mean, it's a big deal for a couple of reasons. One, we see how we handle COVID, whether or not it spreads within that clubhouse, how distant they've been, how distant he's been, and see when he can come back and be asymptomatic and play. Second part is he's clearly, without question, unequivocally, certainly the best hitter in the NL East.
Not name Ronald
So
Acuna.
it's a big
Yes.
deal.
Not named Ronald Acuna.
You know, I was listening to somebody nationally. I'm blanking on who it was, but they were talking about AL MVPs and said, I can't pick Mike Trout because he's the best player, but his wife is pregnant and he's going to leave the team to go and witness the birth of his child. And so he's going to miss a couple days there. But what if he leaves and comes back and he ends up testing positive because he's outside of the whatever?
Well, the other thing is I've had 5 friends have children during these last 5 months, whatever it's been. They're not allowed to go to the hospital.
No,
so when they come back,
the father, I think, I know this because we're about to welcome one into our family. My daughter's just about ready to give birth. It might be today, and we can't go. But the father,
Okay.
her husband can go in there, but we can't. So he's going to be able to go, I would imagine. But the point is, if he leaves, and ends up missing 2-3 games, and what if he tests positive? It's not worth laying even money on Trout, which is what you got to lay even money. So a positive test for you miss a week. I mean, it's like,
is he trying to crap on my AL MVP pick?
He might be.
I think he is.
Well, mine's 6, so
yeah, mine was the best player already.
No, Trout's the best player. There's no question.
Who'd
but
you pick the other day?
Torres.
Gleyber Torres. Yeah.
Where'd you go NL?
Mookie Betts. I said contract year. And look,
Not anymore.
Worked.
Not anymore, though.
No.
Get that
I still think
money.
Mookie Betts is going to be pretty good.
Let's go Cubbies, baby.
All right, Hunt.
Can we still do the Braves chop?
Safe travels. No, they took that out.
Oh, yeah.
Austin Bain with us in hour number 3. Will be here in about 20 minutes. This is Hanging with Hester and Hanny, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Hangin' with Hester and
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Auctioner.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
To all of our heroes working on the front lines of this COVID-19 pandemic, your bravery and selflessness represent the very best of us, and we want to say thank you. I'm asking everyone around the state to join me in celebrating the heroism of our healthcare professionals on the 19th of every month at 1900 hours, that's 7 p.m. Write a note of appreciation, make plans to donate to charitable organizations, or say a prayer. To learn more, visit 19thanks.org. Thank you, and God bless.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is a local bank with a straightforward philosophy.
It's about doing the right thing for our customers.
Participating in our community with annual local fundraisers, offering individual attention in a modern banking atmosphere with a trusted local company. Gulf Coast Bank invested in technology with a local touch, giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime.
We're building relationships through personal service as the bank that cares about you.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
If I built a van, It would do more than haul.
It would carry my entire business. I'd make it available in dozens. Make that thousands of configurations.
It would keep an eye on my fleet.
And an eye out for danger.
If I built a van, I'd make it available in diesel and gas. And I'd build it right here in South Carolina.
Introducing the all-new Sprinter, starting at $33,790. Built in the USA. Mercedes-Benz. Vans. Born to run.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Hand injury lawyers. Now, Hangin with Hester and Hanny with Jacob Hester and Charles Hanagriff. Hester and Hanny on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and 1130 The Tiger. Alongside Jacob Hester, here's Charles Hanagriff.
Hour number 3, Hanging with Hester and Hanny, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge, 1130 The Tiger in Shreveport. With us on CST and our YouTube page, 104.5 ESPN. Austin Bain with us in about 15 minutes. Did you find somewhere for the Blue Jays to play yet?
I have not. I have not found somewhere. We've tried.
Getting right down to it here.
And you made this point yesterday, and I was thinking about it on the way home. I mean, I guess no matter where they play, it's going to be a road game. And so the option of them playing all road games, I guess, isn't as crazy as it normally would be because they won't be home regardless of where they play. But still, I mean, you want to have a base.
Well, okay, so we're 4 hours to the first pitch, weather permitting, in Washington tonight. And we don't know where the Toronto Blue Jays are going to play their home games. And we also don't know how many teams are going to be in the playoffs. At least not officially, because when they came back to the training sites, they had agreed on pretty much everything, or so we thought, after 6 weeks worth of bickering over just about everything.
Yep.
And they were going to play 10 teams in the playoffs the way they always had. Now the Major League Baseball Network is reporting that the playoffs could be expanded to 16 teams. MLB and the Players Association are actually discussing this. Today, this is when we're going to discuss it? Today?
Opening day.
I mean, we're 4 hours to first pitch. Y'all didn't want to wait like another couple hours? I mean, they're not cutting this close enough. Do they have to have? Have you ever heard of a season that started without a postseason format in place?
No.
I mean, as screwed up as the BCS was for years, at least we knew what the rules were. To not have this done by now, every time I want to start, loving up baseball a little bit because they're about to start playing, I get a story like this, like, well, we might change our minds.
I want to talk about the 16-team playoffs. I want to get your feelings on this because this feels like everybody gets a trophy to me. When you start talking about 8 teams in each league, we all know that there's 15 teams, right? So you're saying more teams are going to make the postseason than don't make the postseason? So you're going to have 8 make it, 7 don't make it. That is, to me, everybody gets a trophy. I'm not for it. I'm not for expanding the playoff, just like I'm in the minority of not expanding the college football playoff right now. Right now, it is elite of the elite to get in that college football playoff. Same thing. I mean, you're going to have more teams in the playoffs than are out of it. What are we doing here?
You're talking to a guy who doesn't like the wild card, so you can imagine how I feel about it. I miss the days of the great pennant races, the really great pennant races that I remember when the Red Sox were chasing the Yankees were chasing the Red Sox in '78, and the one game playoff, the Bucky Dent game, Bucky bleeping Dent was. I mean, you remember that kind of stuff. And the last great pennant race happened to involve the Atlanta Braves, and what I consider the last great pennant race, it involved the Braves and the Giants. And this is when the Braves were back in the old National League West, and they were double-digit games behind the Giants. They traded for Fred McGriff. He showed up in Atlanta, and the stadium caught on fire the first night. And the Braves went on this torrid stretch, and every day felt like life or death with the Braves and the Giants. And the Giants won 103 games and didn't make the playoffs. But for 2 months, we were just locked into this really great pennant race. I understand all of the arguments for the wild card, that there are more fan bases that are into it, and now you're at 3 divisions instead of 2, and I get all of that. But 162 games is enough of a sample size for you to make your point. And if you're the 5th best team in the league over 162 games, you don't have any business in the playoffs, much less the 8th best team over 162 games. Now, for this 60-game sprint, I'm willing to listen to an argument that maybe the best teams, might not be in the top 5, but it still rings hollow to me. I even think that is enough. So 16 teams, this is a money grab. I mean, it's pretty obvious to me.
That's a lot of teams in the postseason, and I understand the argument. You get more fans engaged and all that, but it's got to mean something. And wild card teams have definitely went on and win the World Series. It happened last year with the Nationals. Wild card teams in the NFL have gone on and win the Super Bowl. The Giants have done. I mean, teams have done it. I mean, we could list all of the teams, and so I mean, once they get there, they've proven their worth. But it's just got to be more difficult to make the postseason. I'm okay with what they have right now. I would prefer just 1 wild card. I'll be honest with you. I don't like 2 wild cards because 162 games comes down to a game, 1 game, and if you're a team that's built a little bit differently than the other team's got a horse up at the front. But you're
one
a team,
guy.
And you're just a team that you've got a bunch of steady eddies, but you win some baseball games. But they got the horse over there. On a 1-game scenario, they're going to have really good odds. And so I'm not a big fan of that already. Go ahead, let's play some series. Let's not play a 1-game deal, right? I mean, and maybe I'm still bitter from the Braves and getting called an infield fly rule when it bounced into left field. Brian McBride a long time ago. I'll move on, but to me, man, the postseason just got to mean something. And I've been on the other end of this. I've been very beneficial of being a division winner, but because the wild card team's record wasn't as good as ours, they had to come to us in the playoffs, and we won that game as an 8-8 team over a 12-4 team. And so I even don't like that. I'll be honest with you. But as far as the amount of teams, man, we've got to make this mean something. It can't just be, hey, let's give you a medal, you a medal. No, come on, man. 16 teams.
This is a straight money grab for playoff dollars and television dollars in the playoffs, and maybe they see an opening where there might not be some football that would ordinarily be on at that time. Who knows? I'm of the opinion that if I was running baseball, they'd hate me, okay? Because if I was running baseball and I can just make baseball decisions, it doesn't have to be all dollar decisions. I'm going back to 2 divisions in each league. I'm going to play 162 games. I'm going to take those 2 division winners. They're going to play a 7-game AL and NLCS, and we're going to play a World Series. And I'm back and forth on interleague play, but just because I grew up with 2 divisions in baseball. And listen, I'm not old enough to remember when there were no divisions, where it was just you had the National League and the American League, and the only time they ever played was in the World Series, and you didn't even have a divisional series. You didn't have an AL or an LCS. I'd run it with 2 divisions in each league. Yeah. The champions would play, and that would be it. Like I said, they would hate me because that's not where the dollars are. The big dollars are in the playoffs, but over 162 games, if you haven't proven your point by then, you shouldn't get one more mulligan after that on the wild card. But what I really don't get is how you can go this deep and not have had this discussion. I mean, how many different proposals did they send back and forth?
Right.
This many games. No, this many games. This amount of testing. No, this amount of testing. Did they not talk about the playoffs at any point in that? I mean, did that conversation never come up?
I mean, and you're going to switch the amount of teams, and you've gone back and forth 76 times, and we're not even sure what the amount of teams on the postseason. I don't know what's going on with baseball. I don't understand it. Just stay like it is, because I feel like in really this year, you're talking about 60 games, you might have some teams that are very subpar get into a 16-team postseason because of the sample size. I mean, you might have a team that has no business being in there, and then you're talking about a 4-game sweep in multiple series.
Do they have to decide this by 6 o'clock? Do they? Do they really have to decide this by 6 o'clock?
Come on, you have to decide it before you have a first pitch, right?
Well, I would think.
Well,
but
us thinking in 2020.
There are no rules, right? There's no precedent. It's just like that question we got in the first hour. What if you play football in the fall and you want to transfer? Do you get to play football in the spring? I don't know. We never did that before.
2020.
It's 2020. That's going to be our new answer for everything.
Yeah.
You read Sean Payton's book when he got to New Orleans for like the first year. If something was out of whack, they would just say, well, that's Katrina.
Yeah.
Okay. And it didn't even matter if it had anything to do with the hurricane. Just if something was wrong, hey, the back ran the wrong way. Katrina, right? Yeah. Okay. Well, that's just what this is. If anything goes wrong, anything at all, your fault, my fault, nobody. It's 2020.
Well, what are you going to do if they keep the DH next year?
I don't. I don't hate the DH. I
do.
Well, here's my thing. There's a couple of things that I'm not the traditionalist on. The DH is one thing. Because I don't need to see pitchers hit, okay? The strategy of the game is not enough to where I need to see these guys hit 120, okay? Guys like Bain that can, play in the field and pitch and hit, they don't have a big league version of Bain.
I'm shocked.
Okay?
I'm shocked right now. You're right. My man Bain Train could do both, but I'm shocked right now. I thought you would be a National League purist, because I am, and I grew up loving Bobby Cox, the double switches. It affects the games. If you got a starter that's dealing, and he's dealing through 6, and he comes up, and it's 2 outs, guy on second and third, and his spot's up, do you pinch hit for him? Do you leave him in the game?
It does make you have to think through the strategy of the game. I'll give you that. But is that worth – or is a double switch worth me having to watch a guy like oh, gosh, I'm trying to think of what his name is escaping me right now. The guy that pitched until he was almost 50, and he finally hit a home run. Bartolo Colon. Yeah, I don't want to watch Bartolo Colon hit.
Pretty
okay,
entertaining. So you just want a bunch of Pete Incavillas up there, DHing?
No, I want one Pete Incavilla per time through the rotation. I also don't need the other improvement that I like. I'm not big on this. You got to pitch to 3 batters thing. I'm all for specialization. I'm okay with that. I was okay with them saying an intentional walk, go to first.
Yes.
Okay. For the one time a year where the pitcher may sail the ball over the catcher's head, I don't need to see
Rick
4
Ankiel
pitches.
could do it 3 or 4 times in the same.
He wasn't doing it on purpose, right?
No.
I don't need to see that. You're gonna walk him, take your base. I don't need to see the guy lob 4 times outside. That was a good.
I'm honestly surprised by some of your takes today.
Got a little bit of modernization to it. A little bit of modernization.
I know. Maybe I'm stuck in my ways. A little old school here.
Take a break. Austin Bain with us when we come back. Hanging with Hester and Hanny, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Hanging with Hester and Hanny. We opened up the playbook and expanded our coverage. Listen daily in high definition on 98.1 HD2. We are 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Citizens Bank is proud to bring you the Fan of the Week. But during these times with no fans, Citizens Bank is switching its support to the Banking on BR campaign to raise money for the Baton Rouge Food Bank. You can help out by visiting brfoodbank.org or bankingonbr.com.
Divorce is hard. Divorce is messy. Divorce is exhausting. The law offices of OSSIE Brown walked me through my divorce and helped me find the right solution for me, my kids, my finances, and my property.
Call the law offices of OSSIE Brown, your law firm for a lifetime.
104.5 ESPN invites you to take a short quiz for a chance to win a brand new EU1000 generator from our friends at Bozeman Distributors. Simply go to 1045ESPN.com now through August 16th and take the quiz to see how prepared you are for hurricane season. Everyone who takes the quiz is automatically entered to win the generator. Our winner will be chosen on Monday, August 17th. Get prepared for hurricane season from 1045 ESPN and stay prepared with Bozeman Distributors.
If I built a van, It would do more than haul.
It would carry my entire business. I'd make it available in dozens. Make that thousands of configurations.
It would keep an eye on my fleet.
And an eye out for danger.
If I build a van, I'd make it available in diesel and gas. And I'd build it right here in South Carolina.
Introducing the all-new Sprinter, starting at $33,790. Built in the USA. Mercedes-Benz. Vans. Born to run.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Prompt, professional, reliable. If you're looking for a breath of fresh air with your AC and heating needs, call the professionals at Annis & Bitter. Annis & Bitter, a Rheem Pro partner, keeping your family comfortable for over 25 years.
0% for 72 months on all new 2020 F-150s. Visit Bayou Ford for a new 2020 Ford F-150 with 0% for 72 months. And all new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
To all of our heroes working on the front lines of this COVID-19 pandemic, your bravery and selflessness represent the very best of us, and we want to say thank you. I'm asking everyone around the state to join me in celebrating the heroism of our healthcare professionals on the 19th of every month at 1900 hours, that's 7 p.m. Write a note of appreciation, make plans to donate to charitable organizations, or say a prayer. To learn more, visit 19thanks.org. Thank you, and God bless.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Ochsner.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening.
Coming up on Friday's Off the Bench, Hunt Palmer movie reviews are out and baseball's in. Plus, Cole Kublik talks SEC football, LSU opens up football school, and we preview Pelican scrimmage part 2. Off the Bench, 7 to 10 a.m., 104.5 ESPN.
Hangin with Hester and Hanny on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and 1130 The Tiger.
I am a fan of Austin Bain. He is officially my hero for 2018.
Bain Train with us here, hanging with Hester and Hanny, and we're brought to you by Hungry Howie's.
I got to talk about that drop later, but let me tell you about Hungry Howie's right now. You can log online at hungryhowies.com. Right there in the top right corner of the website. Go ahead, make yourself an account, first off, so you can get some Howie reward points. Also, you can check out those deals. I told you there's deals for everybody. If you're just eating by yourself, they've got lunch deals. They got small pizza deals. If you're like me, right, you got the big old family, you need the big deals. They have got multiple large pizza deals as well. All you have to do, click on the top right there, hungryhowies.com, and they have delivery and carry-out deals. Multiple ways to get that Hungry Howie's to you, though. You can always order it on the website, hungryhowies.com. Call them at 761-HOWIE, Nicholson location, 10 a.m. until 4 a.m. Hungry Howie's app is always available to you. But look, go ahead, take advantage of those deals. I know one the Hester family loves is that $15.99 deal, 2 medium, 1 topping pizzas, plus that Howie bread we always tell you about. But look, if you're by yourself, you're like Austin Bain, you got the $5 lunch special, junior 1 topping pizza, and a 20-ounce drink of your choice. hungryhowies.com. That wasn't a shot. I was just saying, if you're by yourself.
I mean, you do know that I'm allergic to pizza.
That's very true. But I'm saying if you're like Austin Bain and you're by your lonesome and you wanted a small
So now you're
lunch
saying I'm
special.
just always by myself?
And you get what I'm saying.
I do. I do.
Okay.
But I'm with you every day.
HungryHowies.com.
You haven't seen Bain in a long time.
It's been
haven't.
a while.
It's just been since the shutdown. I mean, we've talked, but he's been modeling. I don't know if you know this, but he's been modeling. Every time I see Austin Bain on social media, he's got some company shirt on where he's walking in downtown Baton Rouge, looking off in the distance. I don't know what he's looking at, but he's looking.
He's right there. Ask him.
Yeah. No, it's hard. It's hard to look natural, but I mean, I'm doing the best I can.
Model, Austin Bain. So Flynn's a business owner and a father. You're a slinger of commercial insurance and a model. Yes.
No. See, my buddy has, it's called Positive Vibes, and he's not paying me for this shout out.
They know Anthony Renato.
Yeah. And Anthony and my buddy Matt, and they started it. And so we've been just taking pictures to help promote and everything like that. So Jacob calls model. I just call friend being a friend.
I can buy that explanation.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm just bitter because I hadn't gotten any sweet swag.
Dude, all right, we're going to get you a shirt.
This coming from a guy who had the entire lobby filled with stuff that he was signing and sending out. So don't tell me you didn't have swag. And you're signing it, you're hawking it, man. You can keep some of it.
Annie, we're partners now.
I know.
You're supposed to be on my side.
I am on your side.
Hanny's on me and Flynn's side.
I see that.
Just every now and then I got to tweak you. So Bain made a mean face at me when I was talking about the pitchers not hitting internationally. You would be you would be the exception to that. Okay, but all right. So this was actually a question out of the Bayou Ford huddle. It said, this is from Steven. It says, growing up in baseball, normally your best player was your pitcher, and he was your best player. He pitched, he hit, probably played shortstop on the days that he didn't pitch, and at some point you stop. Not you, but other people, and that's why the specialization now, the pitchers are not hitting.
Yeah. I feel like back in the day, all those pitchers, they grew up, just like you said, playing shortstop, hitting a lot. Now I feel like you have a lot more pitcher onlys in high school.
Is that kind of like the Todd Peterson story?
Exactly.
We all kind of joke about it, but he's like, yeah, coach, they didn't really let me hit in high school. They didn't want me to get hurt. But that's not always been the norm. I mean, you're kind of now the unicorn. You were a guy that played shortstop. You pitched, you hit, you did everything when you were at Dutchtown. But like guys like Todd Peterson, to your point, I mean, now they just pitch in high school, which is crazy to think about, when I was coming up in the early and middle 2000s.
Yeah. And another thing is don't sleep on all these pitchers, because a lot of these pitchers actually can hit, but they were so good at pitching that, I mean, pitching's kind of a full-time job in itself, to manage your arm, to stay in shape, all that kind of stuff. So you don't really even have time to hit. That's why there's so many pitcher-onlys in college, because a lot of these guys come in, they did play shortstop, they did play third, they did play outfield, whatever, for their high school. And so they came in as a pitcher-only because that's what they were best at. Because when I came in, I was dual. But if you look at the team in 2015, when I came in my freshman year, we were so stacked in the lineup. And then my class was also number 1 in the nation. It was kind of, we need you more on the pitching side than you wouldn't even have a chance hitting my freshman year in 15. So I was like, okay. And then it kind of stuck. And then those 3 years I stayed pitcher only. And then, I mean, if it wasn't for just random coincidences, I wouldn't even had a chance to hit in the fall my senior year. So a lot of stuff had to fall into place, but I believe that there are a lot of pitchers that can really hit.
You got to, what always killed them to me was you can't hit every day if you pitch.
Yeah.
You're going to have to hit once a week or twice a week. And we've seen specialized pinch hitters that really excel at coming off the bench and getting a hit when they only get one at bat, maybe a game or 3 at bats a week. But that's rare. Man, there's not a lot of guys that are good at that.
There's 3 probably that you can all sit here and you can name them because it is such a rare talent.
And they're professional hitters, where professional pitchers are expected to do that, and they can you never find a rhythm to it, I think would be the problem.
Yeah, it makes it hard because it takes a lot of reps away from people. And I mean, baseball, that's the biggest thing, is muscle memory and being able to repeat what you're doing. Well, it's easier to repeat something if you do it thousands of times. Well, you take away 3 of the 4 games played in college, or 5 of the 6 games played a week in the MLB, then you're not going to have near as many reps. You're not going to be as sharp. You're not going to be as locked in either. And so I agree. It's very difficult to come from the bench to hit. I mean, honestly, it's hard to come from the bench to pitch if you're closing or something like that, because you just sat down for 8 innings. The only reason that I was able to have any success, I feel closing my senior year, was because I was in the field most of the time and I was kind of loose and moving around. When you're sitting down for 8 innings, I mean, that might be 3 hours.
Yeah.
You know?
I want to throw one at you real quick because you're our SEC historian here on the show. How good of a hitter was Tim Hudson at Auburn? Because he played every day.
He was a near 400 hitter at Auburn. He was a play. Brandon Larson hit 40 home runs for LSU in 1997, and Tim Hudson was a player of the year in the conference. Okay, because he was a Friday night guy, and then he played center field the other 2 days, and he hit 397 sticks in my head, but it was something like that. So he was your Friday night guy and your 3-hole hitter. Just that's about as good as you can. That's about as good as you can do.
And I don't remember him being like a great bat, even as a pitcher standards in the big leagues.
I don't either. He did spend a lot of his time in the.
He was with the Braves for a long time.
He was with the Braves for a while, but he started. I want to say his first 8 or 9 years were with Oakland. Huddle wants to know, Bain, what the best hitter among the pitchers at LSU besides you when you were there.
Chill out. Stop throwing him compliments.
I was going to say me if you didn't say that.
Would you even know? Did you ever see those guys hit?
We didn't see a lot of the pitchers hit very much. I know Colin Straw hit pretty well. We did one day. So besides Todd hitting one at bat, that's the only time I've ever seen him.
Chad Peterson.
I forgot that. Yeah. Besides that, we had a 4-man ball game where it was me, Russell Reynolds, Hunter Newman, and Colin Straw. And we played after practice against the winner of the 4-man ball for the position players, and the pitchers won. We beat them. So I guess Russell wasn't a bad hitter. Russell was straight armbar, pull.
I was about to say, he just looks aggressive in everything he did.
Yeah.
Which I appreciate.
Actually, Russell's story, in high school, we were playing Parkview, and, man, this was 2012, and Russell was batting, and we had Jacob Axback going. He was low to mid-90s, and he threw a fastball over the middle of the plate. I think it was 0-2. And Russell stuck his leg out and got hit by the pitch and tried going. The umpire called him back. He ended up getting tossed out of the game. Sorry, Russ. But
I don't think anybody is surprised by that. Again, got a little grit to him. He could have played a mean fullback.
Yeah, he could have. Yeah.
Take a break. Come back. Austin Bain is our guest. We're brought to you by Richards Honda, home of the warm and fuzzy feeling. Hanging with Hester and Hanny, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Hanging with Hester and Hanny.
GMFS Mortgage, GMFSmortgage.com, with rates right now that are historically low. So it might put you into the homeowners market at with a little bit more buying power, a little bit more purchasing power than maybe you thought before this. Or maybe it's time for a refinance. If your rates are anywhere over 4%, you owe it to yourself to take a look at what you can possibly refinance, and not only the long-term benefits, but the short-term benefits of possibly being able to skip a mortgage payment or two. GMFSmortgage.com is where you start your journey. You'll answer a few questions, and your local rep will lay out all of your options for you. You'll make the best decision, proceed from there all the way to the close with no surprises. So do what I did, do what thousands of others have done, and start that journey today at GMFSmortgage.com.
Sports will be back.
But for now, we're all rooting for a different kind of hero.
Let's embody the best parts of sports.
Teamwork,
sacrifice,
resilience.
One goal. Together.
If I built a van, it would do more than haul.
It would carry my entire business. I'd make it available in dozens. Make that thousands of configurations.
It would keep an eye on my fleet.
And an eye out for danger.
If I built a van, I'd make it available in diesel and gas. And I'd build it right here in South Carolina.
Introducing the all-new Sprinter, starting at $33,790. Built in the USA. Mercedes-Benz. Vans. Born to run.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her auctioneer primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an auctioneer care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioneer Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
crime has serious consequences, but anyone can make a mistake. If you find yourself in trouble with the law, know that you have rights, and it's okay to demand them. The law offices of OSSIE Brown are here to protect you and your rights. Felony or misdemeanor, DUI or drug charge. No matter what crime you're accused of, you still have rights. Let the law offices of OSSIE Brown uphold them. Call 225-343-1111. Your law firm for a lifetime.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is a local bank with a straightforward philosophy.
It's about doing the right thing for our customers.
Participating in our community with annual local fundraisers. Offering individual attention in a modern banking atmosphere with a trusted local company. Gulf Coast Bank invested in technology with a local touch, giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime.
We're building relationships through personal service as the bank that cares about you.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona inviting you to join us for Thursday's AFR, presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana. We got a full hour of football talk with Mike Detillier, so join us for Thursday's AFR 3 to 6, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Hangin with Hester and Hanny on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and 1130 The Tiger.
Hanging with Hester and Hanny and Austin Bain with us in studio here today. Richards Honda, home of the warm and fuzzy feeling. Yeah, you made it complicated on scores because when you come in and out of the game and lose the DH and it gets a little bit. We were having this conversation during the break. We're back on air now. It's an interesting scoring to have to
track the
when
DH.
you lose a DH. We got some questions for you out of the Bayou Ford huddle though. They think you look like the guy from the Hills.
I can see it.
And we
Google it.
looked him up. Spencer Pratt from the Hills, which I never watched and didn't know who Spencer Pratt was. But he does look a little bit.
I
like
did watch
you.
the Hills. I did watch Laguna Beach. Anybody watch Laguna Beach in here? Huh? Playboy Marty, don't shake your head. You watched Laguna Beach. Chill out.
Oh, I finished Outer Banks.
It was good.
Great show.
Yeah, there we go.
Really good show.
See, there you go.
You're right.
I'm always right.
They also want you to explain. They also want you to explain.
I'm just kidding.
four
There's
ball.
a guy that comes on after me.
They want you to explain four ball.
Oh, four-man ball? Okay, so four-man ball, you just split up, and as you could guess, it's teams of four. And you have one round of pull and then one round of oppo. And you got four people in positions, and it's if it gets by the infielders, base hit, hits the grass in the air, double, gets by the outfielders, hits the wall, it's a triple or judgment call, and then home run, but you just mentally track ghost runners. And then you play however many innings of that. And so it's just 4 against 4, then switch, and then all that kind of stuff. But, like, if it's a pull round, you go oppo, it's an out. And then I think you only get 3 outs. You might do 5 or 6 on longer days. But
And who's pitching?
Coach Maneri.
Okay.
Yeah, Coach Maneri. And he'll light into you, too. It's all fun and games, and you mess up, and you're like, oh, no.
Is he throwing from off the mound, or is he throwing from behind he's throwing short?
He's not throwing from 60 feet away.
No, I didn't think so.
No,
what's the arm look like these days?
Really good.
Okay.
He's actually one of our harder BP throwers.
When he throws that short, the short arm.
And I remember freshman year, I was hitting BP. This is when I was still dual. Hit a home run off of him. Felt good. Then he threw me a cutter, and I foul tipped it. Then he was like, ha, gotcha.
He could throw a cutter? Really?
Yeah. Oh yeah,
Did
Coach
you
Ranieri's arm?
Did you pimp the home run you hit off your head coach, or did
No,
you watch
dude.
it a little bit?
Oh, dude, I was a freshman.
Okay.
Hitting nukes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How would you have dealt with this this shutdown as a baseball player? If you were in college, what do these guys having in college? They played what was it, 12 games I think, or 14 games, and shut it down, and then you got to go an entire spring where you've been playing ball since you were a kid, no play. The summer ball schedule is completely screwed up, and you got to get back on the campus and try to get back into it. What do you think they're going through?
It's definitely hard coming from me because I did stop playing baseball after college, so I was done. It's almost like an identity crisis because your whole life you were one thing. Like, you were a baseball player. This is what you did. This is how you relieve stress. This is how you handled problems. This was your life. And so definitely whenever I finished, it was hard, like adapting and then not having that to fall back on. So I think a lot of these guys are probably having trouble finding things to do, and they might be spending all their time getting ready for the next season. The problem with that is like, so now you have 5 classes because the seniors are coming back.
Right.
And so now you have to worry about where you're playing, how many people are on a roster. And so, I mean, if I was in this situation, honestly, I probably would have been working my ass off trying to.
Well, could you? I was gonna. My follow up was gonna be, could you get burnt out on though? You've conditioned yourself so long for, this is my off season work, this is my in season work, this is my summer ball work, this is my fall ball work, and so when you don't have that scenario, and hey, it's a great point you make about summer ball because all these guys are playing on some summer team. Now, some in the Cape Cod, I believe that. Isn't that what you did?
Yeah.
You went to the Cape Cod. Some play even locally in Baton Rouge, but they go somewhere, they do something, and their schedule has been completely thrown off. And so is that part of the worry? Because so many soft tissue injuries in baseball, right? And so I would make sure my guys weren't doing too much, though.
Yeah, there's ups and downs because, I mean, you got to look at the work ethic of each player, too, because you're going to have the guys that don't put in enough work, and then they're not going to come back, or they're going to come back and just not produce the same as the guys who do put in a lot of work. But then you're going to have the workaholics who you don't want to, like, you might have to know who those guys are, talk to them, be like, look, don't overdo it. Let's take some time off.
We're not playing Ole Miss this weekend.
Yeah. Just take some time off, slow, maybe try to do long toss more than bullpens, just try to gain some velocity. I think I think what really matters is the leadership of, like, your pitching coach, and they have to give you a plan and how much time you're supposed to take off and what your goals are. And I think if you set goals, maybe that might be the best way to kind of get through this little time.
I would think it would be the hardest on the hitters to go 4 months without seeing live pitching. Yeah. At any level, you can get in the cage as much as you want, but live pitching over that long a period of time.
Yeah, I know a lot of the guys are kind of getting together and hitting off of each other too. So I think I'm pretty sure everybody's been doing that because all the pitchers need to throw. All the hitters need to see live pitching. So I want to say there's just groups of people. I know a bunch of people who are asking pitchers to come in, and pitchers who, like, I want to see live ABs. I want to see some batters. So I think everybody's kind of coming together to help each other.
And you got to find a place to go do this too. Yeah. It's not like you put up a basketball goal in the driveway. You got to go find somewhere to actually do this.
Yeah.
I mean, you raised my attention to this. I didn't even really think about the summer ball aspect of this whole deal. They've been playing in the Cape for as long as any of us can remember, and that's something that community always looks forward to. And I mean, you had a great experience up in the Cape Cod. I mean, doesn't the community just completely just buy into the games and they come and they show up?
What'd you say? I was reading this.
Hanny, do you see what I dealt with every single Wednesday?
Well, dude, this mic's messing me up.
The Cape Cod League is what he wanted to know about.
Handy, do you see it?
I do.
Okay.
I see.
Cape Cod League, your experience, because doesn't the community, doesn't that mean a lot to them?
It does. Like, I feel like the community kind of waits every year for the summer because, I mean, it's beautiful there, and you get all these new people who bring business and they bring families and everything in there too. And it's kind of what the locals, especially the host families and the community, everybody kind of lives in, because it's a bunch of small towns.
Yeah.
It's a bunch of small towns, and they look forward to the games, especially in the postseason of summer ball, because they pack out those stadiums.
They did get one summer league going down in Florida that LSU was able to send some kids to, but it's not nearly the Cape Cod League. You had that Wooden Bat League in Illinois, I believe. They usually sent
Northwoods.
Those two leagues.
At the Rougarou here.
Yeah. everybody got to go somewhere. And this year, I want to say maybe 30 or 40% tops are able to do it. Now everybody's dealing with the same stuff. Now the other thing I want to ask you is the dynamic of a team that doesn't have roster limits, that has some guys coming back. You're bringing in a full freshman class, which is a more full class than you would normally have because the draft was only 5 rounds, plus a couple of seniors coming back. It'd be a crowded clubhouse. How do you think they sort things out when it comes to the fall?
Did you say there are there are no limits on a roster?
For this year.
Okay.
Yeah, for this year.
Cool. I think scrimmages, those innings are going to be a little bit longer.
Yeah.
Trying to just get everybody some reps, seeing who needs to stay, who needs to go. And a lot of this year might be looking into who's staying for next year too. So when you look at it, next year might limit down too because you have the returning seniors and then you have the new seniors who are also graduating. So next year might only be 4 classes or 4.
You're going to end up with rosters that are pushing 40.
Yeah.
And you guys, when the roster was 35, I don't ever remember a year that 35 people got there. You know, there was always somebody hurt. Usually LSU would go in with somewhere around 31, 32 healthy, eligible kids.
Mm-hmm.
And now you're going to add significantly to that. LSU would have never, a full 40-round draft, would have never gotten this full class back.
I think a lot of the older players are probably trying to count the numbers right now. Like, God, this was kind of going to be my time to shine. But damn, that freshman coming in. I know how highly touted he was. Am I going to get passed over? I guarantee you there's some older players right now that are kind of wondering where they're going to fit on this roster. And I look, anybody that stays and competes, I'm all for that. We've seen some already put themselves in the portal, and in fact, there are already other places.
Yeah, absolutely. It's definitely something you have to look at because each guy wants to get some playing time, and a lot of times in college you don't really play as much freshman or sophomore year. You're really relying on your junior, senior year to kind of show out more and get some playing time, and now all the older guys have more competition. There's more depth. There's more pitchers. There's more hitters, and it's LSU. Everybody's good.
Yeah, this is going to be probably the most talent-laden year of college baseball since the 70s. I think with what you've got coming in and the shortness of the draft, you're going to see it not only in the SEC level, but you're going to see it all the way through the junior colleges. There's just a lot more players that ordinarily wouldn't be here right now. All right, you got 3 of us for Ask Us. We'll do that when we come back, both in the Bayou Ford Huddle and on YouTube. So send your questions now for Ask Us. Hanging with Hester and Hanny, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Hanging with Hester and Hanny.
All right, we're brought to you by Baton Rouge Foundation Repair. Baton Rouge Foundation Repair offers services to correct the settlement of both slab foundations and pier and beam foundations. Some of the things that contribute to foundation problems: plumbing leaks, evaporation, poor soil conditions, poor drainage, poor foundation construction, tree roots, all of those things. But let Baton Rouge Foundation Repair's water chill pilings that are engineered to withstand those poor drainage conditions work for you. Baton Rouge Foundation Repair has been servicing the greater Baton Rouge area for more than 22 years, and the owner, Michael LaMonica, is a lifelong resident of Baton Rouge. I tell you every single time I tell you about Baton Rouge Foundation Repair, the community means so much to Michael LaMonica. It was priority number 1 in the first meeting that we had. Don't be asked to pay twice for your foundation repair work. Get Baton Rouge Foundation Repair's water chill pilings, and estimates are always free. You give them a call at 225-275-0101. That's 225-275-0101, or check them out online at brfoundation.com.
Off the Bench, Hanging with Hester and Hanny. After further review and more are all live daily on the 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge YouTube page. Subscribe now to interact with us inside the live chat. Find highlights for each show's channel and get notified whenever we go live.
I'm Jay Ducote. I grew up learning how to cook at LSU tailgate parties and right in my own backyard. And I created JD's Louisiana products to bring that Louisiana flavor to you at home for your backyard cookout. JD's Louisiana barbecue sauce, Louisiana molasses mustard, spicy and sweet barbecue rub, and more are available at your local supermarkets or by logging on to jducote.com/shop. Put in promo code CST for 25% off at checkout.
To all of our heroes working on the front lines of this COVID-19 pandemic, your bravery and selflessness represent the very best of us, and we want to say thank you. I'm asking everyone around the state to join me in celebrating the heroism of our healthcare professionals on the 19th of every month at 1900 hours, that's 7 p.m. Write a note of appreciation, make plans to donate to charitable organizations, or say a prayer. To learn more, visit 19thanks.org. Thank you, and God bless.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Ochsner.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is a local bank with a straightforward philosophy.
It's about doing the right thing for our customers.
Participating in our community with annual local fundraisers, offering individual attention in a modern banking atmosphere with a trusted local company. Gulf Coast Bank invested in technology with a local touch, giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime.
We're building relationships through personal service as the bank that cares about you.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Service Master Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Valley 6.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folk.
Tune in to a Thursday edition of Game Time with Jimmy Ott and Ben Mintz. We are live at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar from 6 to 8 p.m. Come say hello and eat some oysters or listen here on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Hangin with Hester and Hanny on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and 1130 The Tiger.
We're brought to you by Richards Honda, home of the warm and fuzzy feeling. All right, ask us. We got one off of YouTube to start. I stopped Outer Banks after 15 minutes because it seemed weird. Am I weird?
No, you're not weird. It's just not your taste of show, I guess. Just like I don't like The Office, I realize I'm in the vast, vast minority on that. It's just not for me. And so you're not weird if you don't like something. You just don't like it.
You're not weird for not liking it. You're weird for only giving it 15 minutes.
That's fair.
Ask Bain, since you're now a male model, will you get with Hunt Palmer and make him watch Zoolander?
I'm going to be honest. He's not going to watch Zoolander.
Yeah, it's not.
If he's not going to watch The Gladiator, he's not going to watch Zoolander.
He finally did. He finally did.
He watched
and he enjoyed it.
But he didn't like.
He did.
Oh, he liked Gladiator.
He liked Gladiator. Cinderella Man and Gladiator are two of the first times I've ever heard him say that was a really good movie.
And he liked Goodfellas and Shawshank too, right?
Well, he's human, but he didn't like Coming to America.
He might just be too young to.
I mean,
I don't
I
know.
guess I am like 3 years older than him.
Okay.
And I had an older brother.
I was just trying to make an excuse for him. Ask us, Yankees or Nats tonight?
I'll go Yanks.
Yeah, they got the better off. The pitching matchup's
Better
pretty much a
offense,
wash.
yeah.
And I'm gonna go 35% chance of rain at 6 o'clock. So they got a shot.
They do
in Washington.
2020 though.
Washington. Ask Jake, did you ever go head up with Ryan Clark in the NFL? If not, who would win that battle?
Yeah, we played Steelers a bunch of times. One time that I remember, I can't think. I know one time he blitzed up the A gap and I picked him up, and I remember it because he didn't blitz a lot because Troy was always the blitzer and Ryan was typically the guy in the back end that was covering whatever craziness Troy was doing. So that's the only time I remember.
Ask Bain, confess, you haven't listened to a single show since you were last on.
Can I plead the fifth?
I can tell you that answer. He's like, we're on YouTube? We're on CST? I'm like, yeah.
Ask us Braves or Mets tomorrow.
That's probably Brain.
I wouldn't even try. No, it was Jamie. I wouldn't even try to get that one by you.
You know the Braves. Now, Jacob deGrom is a stud.
Yeah.
But I like the Braves.
Ask Jake, will MLS catch the Premier League in 20 years?
I don't know if he'll ever catch the Premier League. The Premier League's I mean, it's one of the premier leagues in the world of all sports. It truly is. And you start talking about millions upon millions and billions of dollars in these franchises. The MLS will continue to grow each and every year. There is a want for a franchise in a lot of these different places. Christian Pulisic, though, yesterday was amazing. He came in as a late sub for Chelsea, had an assist and a goal. So the future of American soccer, I think, is actually brighter than it's been in a very long time, although I still think we need a new men's national team coach. So there you go.
Ask Bain, where do you get your haircut?
Ooh, Catroni's Barbershop. Lawrence, I'll expect a check in the mail.
All right.
You're learning this radio thing. So you say his name and then me get a free haircut.
Feel those palms. Dry.
Oh, they're sweat-free.
Yeah.
I don't quite get this one. Ask Bain, can you do the sweaty live read for?
That's what we were just talking about.
Okay, I missed
So
that.
Austin used to do a live read for his company, Lighter and Bloom, and he would get a little nervous before he did it.
It's all exaggerated. You never felt my palms. You don't know.
Dude, I saw your heart beating out of your chest.
All right, we got some suggestions on the Washington thing. Washington Storm, Washington Reagans, Washington Lewinsky's. I don't think that one's going to work.
Maybe.
I don't know. I'm kind of getting Washington football team is kind of growing on me. If we just do that, no, not really. They got to do something. So Washington football team. Ask us, will you be a Kraken fan? We got some Kraken gear.
What's a crack? Or who are the
Seattle Kraken?
This is the new NHL team.
I am a New York Rangers fan. If I have a rooting interest in hockey, I remember watching the '94 Stanley Cup on a black and white TV in my kitchen. Messier, Richter, the goalie. We had Brian Leach there in defense, and so I'm a Rangers.
I don't really have a team. They got a cool looking logo though, so they'll probably have pretty cool gear. Ask us, Unforgiven or The Usual Suspects?
Unforgiven. They're both great. Unforgiven, though.
At the end, when Eastwood comes out and says, "I'm coming out, don't nobody shoot at me."
Yeah,
this is pretty strong. I liked Usual Suspects though. That was a good movie.
You know what I watched the other day, and I've seen it 1,000 times, is Tombstone, but I'm always going to stop and finish it.
Tombstone's a classic. Ask us, New Jack City or Boys in the Hood? I like Boys in the Hood better.
Boys in the Hood for sure.
That was out my freshman year of college when I saw that. Let's see. Ask us, how good will the LSU baseball team be this coming season?
You're up, Bain.
Yeah. Good.
Strong to quite strong.
Strong to very strong.
A lot of depth.
Yeah.
A lot of depth. I mean, really all that we lost to the draft is Daniel and Cole.
Right.
So, I mean, I think we're going to.
Because the other places the guys sign free agents, you've got guys in those positions. That's some of the reason why they sign those free agent deals.
Yeah.
So.
Can I tell you that their upside, I think, depends on Jaden Hill. If Jaden Hill throws Friday nights for 10 consecutive weeks in the SEC and hits his potential, they can be as good as anybody in the country.
Yeah.
I'm just a stickler. The great teams have to have a great number one pitcher.
Yeah.
In college baseball, you can win with a lot of other things. You can win not hitting a lot of home runs. You can win if you can't steal bases. You can win if you're a little bit shaky in the bullpen. You can win if your defense isn't the best. But if you ain't got a number one starter, then you're not going to win a title. And that guy has got as good a stuff as anybody I've ever seen come through here. So if he pitches on Friday nights and he hits his potential, then yeah. That to me is their upside. I don't know what you think about what you've seen out of him, but
I think I see Jaden for top 1 or 2 in the league in the SEC. Yeah. I could see him get SEC Pitcher of the Year at the end of the year.
The SEC will probably could have 3 picks in the top 5 picks in the draft. Kumar Rocker looks like the number one. A little lighter. I can't remember his first name. Al Leiter's kid.
I like that. Little lighter.
Little lighter.
Sorry,
yeah.
Little Lighter.
That's what I've been calling him. Little lighter.
I like it.
Little Lighter's going to be he's going to be a top 5 pick, and Jaden Hill has top 5 pick potential. Ask Bain who would win. That's you.
What?
Who would win in a race? You or Hester? I would. I would dust you. Get out of here.
No.
Baseball speed and football speed a little different.
Yeah, dude, but my legs are like twice as long as yours.
It doesn't matter. A lot of guys' legs are twice as long as me and couldn't catch me.
How far y'all running? We're running 40. We're running
40,
100. We're running
40.
40. We'll do
we'll
40.
do a 60.
We talked about.
No, we'll do 50. It's split. 60
all
for
right.
baseball, 50 yards.
We'll do a 50. But we talked about it. We talked about it.
Hanny, I'm dusting.
He's not
him.
dusting anything.
Everybody that
There's a parking lot right out there. We're
everybody,
almost done.
everybody
He's gonna have
that
to
they're like,
stretch.
oh, he's fast in baseball. He'd be like a 4.8 in football.
Yeah, but Jacob wasn't known for going around anybody.
It doesn't matter. I still could run.
Ask a sneaky World Series pick. A's for me.
Reds, Twins.
Reds, okay.
Reds,
All right.
Twins. World Series for a sneaky pick.
Let's see. Ask us Luther Vandross or Freddie Jackson.
Big Luther or Lil Luther?
Big Luther.
Yeah, Big Luther.
Yeah,
He had the
for-
pipes.
For sure. Let's see. What else? That Tombstone's great entertainment. Ask Bain. Is a button down too small if you can't button the top button?
Well, if you got a big neck, though.
Yeah, it's all in your measurements.
For me, it's
right. So for me, like I could wear a large, but the large neck doesn't button. So if I go XL, then it looks baggy, doesn't look good. So I'd rather go large and have a little trouble buttoning the top button.
You just got to know the measurements. Like I'm a 16-inch neck.
Yeah. Well, you got a bacon neck, so it doesn't really matter.
I don't really want to have to wear a tie. How's that? If I don't have to. All right, that's going to do it for us. Thanks to Austin Bain, thanks to Barrett, Sallee, and to Hunt Palmer, and for Paul O'Neill, for Playboy Morty, for Cade Wazan, for Austin Bain, for Jacob Hester. A lot of people.
A lot of people in this room.
Charles Hanagriff saying thank you and good afternoon. Stay tuned for AFR 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Hangin' with Hester and
Divorce is hard. Divorce is messy. Divorce is exhausting. The law offices of OSSIE Brown walked me through my divorce and helped me find the right solution for me, my kids, my finances, and my property.
Call the law offices of OSSIE Brown, your law firm for a lifetime.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office